The following is a product of Studio 42.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is football time in Texas.
From Studio 42 on HoweEnterprise.com, this is Howe Bulldogs football.
The monkey is off the back. All toes are on the ground. 22 stops in 22.
Howe Bulldogs football is brought to you by Scoggins Funeral Home, Baker Air Conditioning and Heating, Independent Financial, GC Easy, Sonic of Howe.
And Rattler just barrels over a defender and goes Superman at the 32-yard line.
Also brought to you by Michelle Castle Guild Mortgage, Atmos Energy, Corey Hernandez State Farm, Rapid Electric, Brother Plumber, Attorney Micah Belden.
Been caught in the middle of the end zone in the back corner. It's Cooper Jones, and it's touchdown time in Texas.
Also brought to you by Howe Athletic Booster Club, Linda Hamill Insurance, Michelle Carney Photography, Kit Exteriors LLC, TechWave, Night Furniture, Bullard Construction.
And Howe says they have the football. Howe has the football.
Also brought to you by All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights, Texella Land and Home Realty Team, Goodfellas Barbershop, Don Smokehouse.
Haley's going to keep it up the middle. He's in. It's touchdown time in Texas. Austin Haley, who usually does it with his arm, does it with his feet.
Now let's open the Rapid Electric tailgate party and join the voice of the Howe Bulldogs, Monty Walker.
The Howe Bulldogs have defied all the pundits who picked them to finish last in District 8-3A. Not only did they not finish last, they clinched a playoff spot with a win over Lone Oak a week ago. Tonight, Howe will march into postseason play for the first time since 2016, when they lost to the eventual state champion Mineola Yellow Jackets. So much has happened since that night in Royce City, but again, Howe will be the underdog in this battle of dog versus dog. It's 4-seed Howe versus 1-seed Palmer, and it's football time in Texas.
You're listening to the Rapid Electric tailgate party.
Here's some things to never mess with if you're not a trained professional. Caging a bulldog, removing copperheads, and electricity. Don't get shocked. Call Rapid Electric. Rapid Electric is here for all your electrical needs. Just like you wouldn't try to become a pro boxer or president. Not a joke. You need a pro to keep your electricity humming. Don't get shocked. Rapid Electric serves the Grayson County area. Call them at 903-421-8100.
I'm attorney Micah Belden, an old school black and white Howe Bulldog. In criminal defense, you need someone who fights like a bulldog. Call me now if you've been investigated, arrested, or charged with a crime in North Texas. My number is 903-744-4252. We'll set up a free consultation. You will find out that I'm rough, tough, and I can't get enough. I'm board certified in criminal law by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization, Principal Office, Sherman, Texas. Visit my website at shermancriminallawyer.com.
You're listening to the Rapid Electric tailgate party. Let's join Monty Walker with this week's Senior Spotlight. The Senior Spotlight is brought to you by Scoggins Funeral Home.
This week's Senior Spotlight is Aiden Burris.
In the before years when I got moved up to varsity, I was just, kind of the quiet kid and just, I did my job, I got it done. This year, I think I stepped into Clay's role last year. I'm more of the communicative lineman and just, I make sure our linemen are doing their jobs at all times and getting everything done.
This week's Senior Spotlight is Matt Hayes.
This season, it's been a lot more fun. It's not as been as rough on us. The whole team's had a lot more fun, and just there seems to be a lot more energy in practice, and it's not so dead like it was last year. At least what it felt like.
This week's Senior Spotlight is Brody McCollum.
Well, I love that me and my sister have grown closer over the years, and I'm there for her. I'd heard stuff, and she's always there to support me.
This week's Senior Spotlight is Antoine Rattler.
I put in pretty much work. I feel like I gained a lot. How much improvement I put in during off season.
This week's Senior Spotlight is Bryce Crosby.
I think some of it has to do with coaching. Some of it has to do with, really all it has to do with is everybody's bought in to Coach Brian and all the coaching that we have right now. Everybody's bought in and really committed to what we're doing here.
This week's Senior Spotlight is Ryan Huff.
You got to treat every opponent just like you'd treat a number one overall team, and we came out and did that, and although the outcome didn't come out as exactly what we hoped for, we made the statement, and a lot of people are going to be respecting us, especially as we move towards playoffs and the end of the season. And so we just got to continue to make strides toward being the best team we can be.
This week's senior spotlight is Carson Daniels.
I just came out of my shell. I mean, after like sophomore year, really, I broke out of my shell. I mean, I kind of just like lived freely. I don't know. It kind of surprised me too, to be honest.
This week's senior spotlight is Austin Haley.
I was in a lot of pain, and I think we all were, the weather and then just the score. We were trying our hardest to come back, and I was doing all I could to win. I know everyone was, and of course it didn't happen like that, but I wouldn't take it back. I wanted to be there with my team in my last home game ever, and I wanted to do what I could to help them win the game, even if I couldn't even lift my arm. I just wanted to be there for my team, and we played our hearts out, but we're going to win this week. So.
The Senior Spotlight is brought to you by Scoggins Funeral Home. You're listening to the Rapid Electric Tailgate Party.
Since 2011, Scoggins Funeral Home and Crematory has walked with hundreds of families through the most overwhelming time of their lives. Their job is simple: to make this season a little easier. What you can expect is a no-pressure, people-first philosophy, custom services for memorials that you'll remember forever, and reasonable pricing. Tommy and Bobby K. Scoggins have built a reputation over the past 30 years in the funeral business for making every family feel at home. Visit ScogginsFuneralHome.com or call 903-482-5225.
You might know that State Farm agent Corey Hernandez has great service. Corey is your good neighbor after all. But did you know State Farm has surprisingly great rates too? That's right. State Farm agent Corey Hernandez is here to help you select the right protection at the right price. Corey will make sure you understand your State Farm coverages so you'll know what to expect if the unexpected happens. Call State Farm agent Corey Hernandez at 903-893-8400 or visit InsuranceQuoteTexoma.com. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You're listening to the Rapid Electric Tailgate Party. Let's join Blake the Blizzard Burnett for today's District 8 3A Division II Roundup. Roundup is brought to you by Don's Smokehouse.
Howdy, folks. Welcome to the District 8 3A Division II District Roundup. It's playoff time in Texas. The top 4 teams in every district have advanced to the by-district round. We only have 3 playoff games in District 8 because a District 7 team in Cedar Hill TLC has forfeited their playoff game against District 8 district champs, the Gunner Tigers. District 8 will match up with District 7 in 3A Division II in the by-district round. District 8 finished with Gunner being the district champs at 10-0 and 5-0 in district. The Bells Panthers 8-2. 4-1 in district are your runner-ups. Blue Ridge 5-5, 2-3 in district will take 3rd place, and Howe at 6-4, 2-3 in district will be in 4th place. Blue Ridge gets the tiebreaker over Howe in a head-to-head victory. District 7 finished with Palmer 9-0 on the season, 5-0 in district. They are your district champs in District 7. Scory Roser is 7-2 on the season, 4-1 in district. Blooming Grove 7-3 on the season and 3-2 in district. Then you have Cedar Hill TLC, who is 3-7 on the season but 2-3 in district, and they have forfeited their matchup against Gunner in the by-district game. Gunner had already beat Cedar Hill TLC during the regular season 67-6. Not playing tonight will allow Gunner to rest and get ready to make another deep run as they look to avenge their state title loss in this championship game last season. We have Thursday night football here in the by-district round of the playoffs. Bells and the famous Slot T will be playing Blooming Grove tonight at Memorial Stadium in Mesquite. Look for the Slot T to hit Blooming Grove in the mouth early and often in this one. Look for Brock Baker to lead the way on offense and defense while getting help on offense by Grady Waldrop and help on defense by Cooper Smith. That'll be the big players to watch for the Bells Panthers as they take on Blooming Grove tonight in the by-district round. Blue Ridge will play Scurry Rozier in the by-district round. Blue Ridge looks to use their run game to their advantage in this one. Brody Darlin, the quarterback for Blue Ridge, will look to lead the way on offense He has a lot of quick jukes and cuts he likes to do, and he gets in the open field. He is explosive as anyone. On defense, Blue Ridge is led by Isaiah Gaddis, the junior defensive end. Tanner Vaughn will look to throw the ball all over the field in this one for scoring. A rushing attack versus a passing attack in this game should be a great game. Look for Tanner to throw a lot of touchdowns tonight. Howe will play Palmer in the bi-district round. Howe making the playoffs after back-to-back 0-10 seasons is a big turnaround. They will really look to use Antoine Rattler and get the ball to Cooper Jones on offense in this one. Palmer will look to run more than they pass, but when they do throw it, they are successful with it. They have 28 rushing touchdowns on the year and 17 passing touchdowns. Freshman quarterback Eric Cisneros has 17 touchdown passes to 2 interceptions. The game with Howe and Palmer could be high scoring. Howe looks to control the clock with their ground game with Antoine Rattler and Garen Langford, the quarterback. Everyone driving out to these games, drive safe, enjoy the playoff atmosphere, and have fun. And everyone in District 8, represent the district well. We'll see you next week. Adios.
Today's District 8 3A Division II Roundup is brought to you by Don's Smokehouse.
Don's Smokehouse is located in downtown Howe and is a full-service butcher shop.
You're listening to the Rapid Electric Tailgate Party.
At Grayson Cullen Electric Cooperative, GCEC, we have been around for over 80 years and are governed by 7 principles: open and voluntary membership, democratic member control, members' economic participation, autonomy and independence, education, training, and information, cooperation among cooperatives, and concern for community. One of our communities is Howe, Texas, and GCEC is proud to support the Howe Bulldogs.
This is Michelle Castle with Guild Mortgage, welcoming you to Howe Bulldogs football. Guild has been delivering on the promise of home to hundreds of thousands of people just like you for over 60 years. With a big heart and a desire to serve, we're committed to making life better in our communities. This is where we live, and we're committed to building it with you.
Guild Mortgage Company, Equal Housing Opportunity Company, NMLS number 3274. Michelle Castle, NMLS number 231122. Branch address 714 North Travis Street, Sherman, Texas 75090. All loans subject to underwriter approval. Terms and conditions apply. Subject to change without notice.
Hi, this is Matt Linder with Linda Hamill Insurance. Your home field is where everything happens. And I'm not talking about Bulldog Stadium. We're talking about your home, your car, and your life. For over 30 years, we've been offering bundled discounts on home, auto, and life. We offer Germania and Progressive Insurance Protection, as well as many others to suit your needs. Call us today at 903-965-4098 or come by and see us at 106 North Broadway in Bells, Texas. That's 903-965-4098.
You're listening to the Rapid Electric Tailgate Party. Welcome to the Linda Hamill Insurance Coaches Corner. Now let's join Monty Walker with Howe Bulldogs head coach Lance Bryan.
All right, Coach, your goal for the season was to just win a game. 22-game losing streak coming in, but now you've clinched the playoffs. That's got to make you feel proud.
You know, it definitely does. These kids definitely deserve it. You know, we didn't make a lot of goals going into the year because when you're coming off 0-10, I think it's almost kind of silly to make long goals out there in the future. I think, our focus was just to win, as many times as we could. And we talked about that every week that we had a chance to go light it up. And, that was the motto we kind of locked in on, pretty quickly that was our only goal. And so, we started to get that rolling a little bit in non-district, and we didn't talk about district or playoffs or anything like that. We just kept talking about, it's the next opportunity to light it up. But everybody knows, you can do the math. If you win enough games, you make it to the playoffs. And so, towards the end of the season, when it looked like, we were going to have a shot to get in, we did start to talk about it a little bit more and how much more important lighting it up, later in the season was going to be than in non-district or everything like that. So we could clinch a spot, and so our kids knew what was at stake, and so they definitely rose to the challenge.
G.A. Moore of Salina used to talk about the season in 3 parts: the non-district, district, and the playoffs. And he would talk about maybe letting up on the kids in the playoffs and maybe not being so hard on them. What's your philosophy there?
We kind of just kept doing what we've been doing. We kind of try to stay in as much of the routine as we can, and we don't change. We don't even flip who goes first. sometimes the defensive coaches they go second, and sometimes they ask to go first because the kids are a little bit fresher. And I like to keep a similar routine week in, week out. I think it's good for the kids to expect what's coming, and so we haven't changed a whole lot. Our kids are used to this routine, and they know the pattern that we do, and I think that there's something that I think consistency is good for kids, and so we haven't really changed a whole lot. We've kind of treated it just like the next district game almost.
So you didn't have your starting quarterback Austin Haley a week ago in the regular season finale. Went with sophomore quarterback Garen Langford. I thought you played very well to his strengths and got him involved early with the running game.
There's a lot of stuff that he did, and some of it looked like, from somebody who maybe doesn't know football quite as well, that he was just handing it off every play. But there was a lot of those plays where actually he was reading the defense and making a decision. And usually when you think of reading the defense, you think of the passing game, and because that's what, the big chunk yards, and that's what they think of. But with Garen, we knew that he was really good at reading the running plays, that could be him keeping it option or giving it to Rattler, and he made the right read almost every single time. And so the way that he played in the backfield actually helped us get a lot of our 5 to 7 yard gains on repeat because he was reading the defense and doing a great job. And we knew that was a strength of his going into it. And, Haley's got his own strengths, and he does a lot of things well too, obviously. But we did know that Garen was really, really exceptional at some of that stuff, and so we definitely did lean into that, a lot more during the game.
We're talking about the RPO game and all that entails with reading the defense, and it landed to where Antoine had 37 carries in the game. That was remarkable. He really just almost placed the team on his shoulders and carried them into the playoffs, and he ended up with Player of the Week for the Herald Democrat also.
Antoine played a great game, and a lot of credit goes to the offensive line. The offensive line, opened up holes for over 400 yards rushing, and we're not a slot T team. Like we don't necessarily run it every play. I know last game it kind of looked like we were from maybe more of a spread look, but he wouldn't have been there without the offensive line, and we really challenged the offensive line a lot this week. We actually had more coaches going down there and helping, just more eyes, because it's hard to watch five players at once, even with 2 coaches down there. We definitely put a lot on their shoulders that they were going to have to play a great game, and they did. And 37 carries is a lot. That's a lot more than I kind of thought that it was going to be whenever I found out at the end of the game what it was. But the thing about him is that he trained really, really hard in the off season and this summer, and he put himself in a position to where usually a running back would look really gassed and really tired throughout the game, and he didn't, and so it factored into our decision to keep handing it to him because he didn't look like he was exhausted. He also was running down on kickoff, and he was one of the first ones down on kickoffs, and so
and played defense.
He played defense some too, and it's at when you get into situations like that, when you're in a must-win situation, it doesn't matter what it looks like. The goal is to win, and we didn't care if it was running the ball every play or throwing it. It didn't matter. When we saw we were getting those 5 to 7 chunks on repeat, we just decided that we were going to lean into that, and if they couldn't stop it, we were just going to keep doing it until they did. And it was one of those things where they never stopped it, and so we never got away from it.
We'll take a quick 30-second timeout. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Matt Linder with Linda Hamill Insurance. Your home field is where everything happens. And I'm not talking about Bulldog Stadium. We're talking about your home, your car, and your life. For over 30 years, we've been offering bundle discounts on home, auto, and life. We offer Germania and Progressive insurance protection, as well as many others to suit your needs. Call us today at 903-965-4098 or come by and see us at 106 North Broadway in Bells, Texas. That's 903-965-4098.
Coach, we talked about, one man down, one man up with Garen Langford. Same situation for Ethan Mayo on the other side of the ball. I thought he played a great game.
He has. And one of the things that's great about him was that he kept working every week, to try to be a starter, even though he wasn't for a while. And he was doing a good job on special teams and in some other roles that he was given. He was excelling. But the biggest thing was when he was in his individual and when he was getting his reps in practice, he acted as if he was a starter and practiced that way. And so whenever his opportunity arose, he was ready for that moment. And like when we looked at the film last week, he made a lot of good plays, but there was a lot of stuff that he did that didn't necessarily show up in the stats. Like he put a lot of pressure on the quarterback a lot. He drew 2 holding penalties 2 different times whenever the guys were struggling to block him, and that put them in bad situations. It was pretty cool at the very end of the game. Yeah. It was kind of like his hard work all paid off, and he got the big sack at the end of the game, and that's a great moment for him. That's kind of a exclamation point on a tough game for him. He played really, really hard, and I'm super proud of him, and it just goes into we preach that a lot, about you need to be ready, but it's always good when you have examples to use, because it kind of gives the kids that a name to the face, they can see what the hard work looks like, and so Ethan's really he's excelling in his role, and couldn't be more happy for him.
So this is kind of like a homecoming week, a lot of distractions, there's a bonfire. How are the kids responding to the week?
We treated the week a lot like a normal week. We did talk about the bonfire, obviously, because that's a really cool thing. We talked about it yesterday, and we had talked about a bonfire, at different points in time in the year. And early in the year there was a burn ban, and a fire probably was probably not the best idea. And we hadn't won anything yet too, and so sometimes when you start celebrating, you build up a season too much. It's like, well, you need to win something first to celebrate. And so, we had talked, Kevin and I had talked to our superintendent. He's like, he was like, I know the bonfire would have been cool, but hey, how about this? If we make the playoffs, we'll have one. And so I said, deal. And so when we made the playoffs, the bonfire was one of the first things that got put on the docket. And so, we're excited. It's that's a cool thing that makes it an extra special moment. And distractions, the pageantry and the stuff that goes around, like Texas high school football, is what makes it so great, and the fact that it brings the community together, the band cheer, FFA runs our concession stand, so we've got a lot of different parties that go to our games and support the team, and so it's just another thing for the community to be able to do, and I think it's cool.
Making the playoffs is special. You talk about all the pageantry, and that's great. There is one game you still have to play. Palmer, what do they look like on film?
They're really, really tough. One of the things that they do is, Don Waddle's been there a long time, and I know coaches that have coached against him, and one of our principals actually coached with him a long time ago, and so he's been around the game for a long time, and he does a great job. And one of the things that they do really well is that they are going to do exactly what they're going to do, and they don't change a lot from week to week. And I kind of have a similar philosophy when it comes to at least defense anyway. This is what we're going to do, and we're going to get really, really good at it, and he has a similar one. So they've lined up, if you look at their films, it doesn't matter which film you look at, their defense lines up pretty much the same, and their kids are well coached, and offensively their schemes don't change a lot week to week. They might add a wrinkle, but essentially it's the same offense every week. And so they got a freshman quarterback that plays like a senior, which is rare. They've got their running back is the probable district MVP. From talking to their district coaches, he's probably going to be the MVP of their district. And so they've obviously got they've got a great ground game. They've got some receivers that can do some stuff, but they are definitely going to try to run the ball down your throat. That's kind of their main MO. But they'll throw it enough to keep you honest and try to get your safeties playing the run too fast and try to hit you over the top. And then defensively, they fly around. They've got two defensive ends that are really athletic players. They've got two bigger kids in the middle that kind of try to plug up the holes. And that district MVP running back's the Mike linebacker. And so, it's 3A football. Their best players on offense are a lot of times their best players on defense, and we're not that dissimilar. And so, they're a good, well-coached football team.
So a couple of years ago, last year even, if someone said, hey, we're going to try to play a playoff game in Lone Oak, people would have laughed a lot, and that would have never happened. Great renovation over there. The facilities are outstanding. How did that come about to play a playoff game at Lone Oak?
So Coach Turner and I've actually known each other for a while. We're both alumni of the same college, and so when we were getting ready to play our game, we both knew what was at stake. And you have to set up playoff sites early. You don't like to look ahead, but you have to when you start planning sites. And where us and Palmer are located, the only thing in between us is Dallas Metroplex, and we both agreed we didn't really want to go into the Metro mess if we didn't have to. And so we started looking out east, and a lot of stadiums are already filled up. And when I was talking to Logan, Coach Turner at Lone Oak, he was like, I'm not assuming we're going to win. I'm going to try to beat you. It's like, but if you win, would y'all be interested in playing here? And so I proposed it to Coach Waddle, and we ended up agreeing that was the best site that we could get. And that the stands are beautiful. The field is brand new. There's stuff that they're still doing that's going to make it even better. But one of the advantages for us is, we're the visitor, because we're the lower seed. And so that was one of the agreements that we made, was that we'd be the visitor. But it's the same locker room for us, the same sideline for us, there's a lot of routine that goes into it for us that I think is kind of advantageous for us. And, anytime in the playoffs or any game, you try to find any edge you can. And so we're playing at a neutral site, but for us, we've played there before. So we think that's to our advantage. And so I thought that it was a good decision to take that. But the everything they've done there is beautiful. Everything they're doing is really top notch, and they've got some good stuff going there with their facilities.
So if you're able to win tonight, you basically become a Cinderella team. This is number 4 versus number 1. They're undefeated. Everybody's going to say, well, this team was 0-22. That would be quite a knockoff. Do the kids understand the impact of that?
We've talked a little bit about that, but the biggest thing that we've done is that, we've only been picked to win 3 games this whole season. There's multiple polls that come out for Texas high school football, and it's kind of shows you maybe how much attention is given to like every individual game. It doesn't matter. And we've been the underdogs every week, but 3 of them. And so this is not new territory for us. Hopefully here in the future, we're not considered a Cinderella and these are all upsets. Hopefully we're just, picked to win and we're doing what we're supposed to do. But, this year was not that year. This year we're the underdog in a lot of those games. And so we've just leaned into that. And, I think it's good to play with a chip on your shoulder and, feel disrespected. And I feel like these kids were. And coaches get a lot of credit for the turnaround and all that stuff. But, we didn't play a single down. These kids did everything. And, I've had people ask me, it was like, well, who's new to the roster? Who's new that came to school? And it's not a single kid that's new. Every single kid on our roster went to Howe last year and was on the football team last year. There's not one new kid. And so these are the exact same kids that have been here. And so, they did it all, and all the credit goes to them. And so, if we're able to win, which, I think there's definitely a chance we can do that. We've proven a lot of people wrong all year, so I don't look at upsets that much as maybe I used to. Then it's just another chapter in the underdog story that we've had all year, and hopefully we get that done, and we'll get to keep playing one more week.
Today's Coach's Corner has been brought to you by Linda Hamill Insurance. You're listening to the Rapid Electric Tailgate Party.
Who's your local plumber? Brother Plumber. It's good to know someone local and someone you can trust when your home or office drops the ball.
Main line break, 15 yards.
Brother Plumber is plumb professional and serves not only Howe, but also all of Grayson County. You can save yourself 10% if you mention Go Bulldogs. Visit us online at brotherplumber.com. We'd love to help. Brother Plumber is one call away at 469-968-4487. Visit us online at brotherplumber.com. Remember, Go Bulldogs. Independent Financial is proud to support Howe ISD and their hardworking students, teachers, and staff. We share your vision for a brighter tomorrow and a championship season. For every challenge, Independent Financial has you covered. Our team can suggest a wide range of financial products to make your personal banking fast and easy. Plus, we have the know-how to deliver the game-changing business banking solutions. Independent Financial, your community in your corner. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, it's me, Gus the Gopher for Atmos Energy. I dig all around the yard. Occasionally, I bump into a utility line and get a headache. But if you hit one with your shovel, backhoe, or ditch digger, you could cause a gas leak, disrupt service, or worse. So call 811 at least 3 business days before you or someone else digs in your yard to have those underground utility-owned lines marked. It's free and it's the law. You dig what I'm saying? For more on safe digging, visit atmosenergy.com/811.
Austin Haley's coming to the sidelines.
Oh no, let's hope Haley's okay. Caroline, can you get the mic in there?
Coach, I'm starving. I can't keep going.
But you're the starting quarterback.
Coach, I can't help it. I need something quick.
Hang on. Doreen, quick. Go to Sonic, get a burger, tots, and a shake.
Make it an M&M blast.
Doreen, make that an M&M blast. Large.
Coach, I'm sorry, but Sonic of Howe is where you get great food and big smiles. It's not just good.
I know, it's Sonic good. Hang on, Doreen, bring me some onion rings. Those things really bring the hammer down.
You're listening to the Rapid Electric Tailgate Party. Today's Howe Bulldogs Flux Capacitor is brought to you by Quick Check Convenience Stores. Now let's join Monty Walker with a time travel through Bulldogs history.
The Howe Bulldogs are 6-5-1 on games played on November the 10th. The first game was played in 1939 when Howe lost to Bells 25-20 at Fair Park in Sherman. In 1944, Howe beat Pilot Point at Bulldog Stadium, and in 1960 lost to Allen 58-22. Howe beat Celeste in 1961 25-0 and lost in 1967 at Salina 27-0. In 1972, Howe lost behind the Cedar Trees in Leonard 19-13, and in 1978 tied Bells in the season finale at 0-0. In 1989, Howe beat Tom Bean to earn the district championship on this date, and in 1995, nudged out rival Van Alstyne 7-6. In 2000, Howe finished the regular season with a 33-0 win over S&S, and in 2006, lost to Pottsboro, 49-24. The last game played on this date was Zach Hudson's last game as head coach of the Bulldogs, with a 21-0 win over Callisburg at home to finish the 2017 season. Tonight's matchup with Palmer will be the first ever game between the two schools. Howe's last playoff trip was in 2016 when they lost in the third round to eventual state champion Mineola, 21-7. Howe is 14, 18, and 3 overall in the playoffs, with the Dogs advancing on 2 of the ties, both in 1990 over Salina and Alney in back-to-back games. Howe's first ever playoff win came in 1938 and was actually lost on the field 7-6 to Anna. However, the Coyotes used ineligible players and had to forfeit the bi-district trophy to Howe. The trophy is still in the case at Howe High School. The last playoff win for Howe was in 2016 when they defeated Jefferson in the area round 31-7. Howe's last bi-district trophy came in that same year in a barn burner over Grandview, 29-28. The Howe Bulldogs have never played a playoff game in Lone Oak, and no one would ever wanted to until this makeover this season.
Today's Howe Bulldogs Flux Capacitor is brought to you by Quick Check Convenience Stores.
Quick Check Convenience Stores, moving small towns forward. Family owned and operated in North Texas since 1977.
You're listening to the Rapid Electric Tailgate Party.
Here's some things to never mess with if you're not a trained professional. Caging a bulldog. Removing copperheads. And electricity. Don't get shocked. Call Rapid Electric. Rapid Electric is here for all your electrical needs. Just like you wouldn't try to become a pro boxer or president. Not a joke. You need a pro to keep your electricity humming. Don't get shocked. Rapid Electric serves the Grayson County area. Call them at 903-421-8100. Baker Air Conditioning and Heating has been in business in Howe for over 50 years. They even predate the volleyball program and the marching band. Norman Dickey was the new coach when they opened up. Baker Air Conditioning and Heating has been able to serve the good people of Howe and surrounding areas because, well, they're good people. If you've been told you need expensive repairs, get a second opinion with Baker Air Conditioning and Heating. Call 903-532-6255 or see them at 215 Denny Street. Baker Air Conditioning and Heating.
From Studio 42 on HoweEnterprise.com, this is Howe Bulldogs Football. Today's scene setter is brought to you by Baker Air Conditioning and Heating, proud partner of Bulldogs Athletics.
Only the strong have survived. It's the playoffs. Texas high school football's land of milk and honey. Tonight, deep in the heart of Lone Oak, a lone survivor will emerge. It's a fight to stay in the bracket. Two towns so similar that they even have the same mascot and the same black jersey. One dog will bark and one dog will bite. Which will it be?
Rattler has carried Howe apparently into the playoffs in the final game in 2022.
It's been a while since Howe has a chance to lift a playoff trophy. The program of Norman, Jim, Joey, Davey, and Zach will see a black and gold Bulldog team that has swept the entire regular season for the #1 seed. Tonight, Howe has the chance to shock the world.
What a moment from 0-10 to watch us win and jump into the playoffs.
It's time for the UIL state playoffs. It's the Howe Bulldogs and the Palmer Bulldogs. Here we go. Live from Buffalo Stadium in Lone Oak, Texas. This is Bulldogs football.
Today's scene setter is brought to you by Baker Air Conditioning and Heating, proud partner of Bulldogs Athletics. You're listening to the Rapid Electric Tailgate Party. From Studio 42 on HoweEnterprise.com, this is Howe Bulldogs Football. You've been listening to the Rapid Electric Tailgate Party. Football time in Texas is just moments away. Now, with the call of the game, here's the voice of the Howe Bulldogs, Monty Walker.
Well, it is playoff time in Texas. Everybody has this on their mind when they start 2 days in August. when you're going through all those sprints and you're going through all those workouts, you do it for tonight and this moment, Justin White. This is what the Howe Bulldogs have been preparing for, and the fans over there on the far side that are packing it in over there in Lone Oak on the visiting bleachers, they've been waiting to scream in a playoff game for 6 years. It's been since Mineola knocked out Howe in 2016, 21-7. Since Howe's even made any kind of a murmur to be in the playoffs. And here they are after back-to-back 0-10 seasons. Lance Bryan has brought the Dogs back to the playoffs.
Well, the first goal was to get in here this season and just get a win. Just get a win on the board, get that confidence going. Stacked up a couple more wins after that. And then obviously made the playoffs, and now you just want an opportunity. You just want to get a chance to get into the tournament and see what you can do, see if you can make some noise. And you got your work cut out for you with this Palmer Bulldogs, but you just wanted a chance to get in here tonight, and that's what the Bulldogs have, and hopefully can make shock the state.
Yeah, let's go over the hit exterior starting lineups. I'll go over Howe on offense first. Roman Garbrandt up front, the left tackle. The left guard is Aiden Burris. The center is Malin Walker. The right guard, Brody McCollum. The right tackle, Michael Riddle. Split out wide on the near side is senior Ryan Huff. He needs 68 yards for 1,000 for his career. On the season, 15 catches, 271 yards, 2 touchdowns. He averages over 18 yards per catch. On the other side, Cooper Jones. 28 catches, 546 yards, and 9 touchdowns. This season on his career, 85 catches, 1,328 yards, and 11 touchdowns. Your slot receiver is Colin Murphy, 21 catches, 214 yards. He's also rushed 5 times for 36 yards. He's a junior. The slot receiver on the other side is Braden Ulmer. He's a sophomore, 25 catches, 373 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He's also rushed 7 times for 22 yards. Your tailback tonight had a monstrous game a week ago right here at this field. Antoine Rattler, the senior, 199 carries, 1,291 yards. That's 6.49 per carry, 14 touchdowns on the ground. And he had 5 a week ago and 270 yards on the ground here. So the quarterback, not Austin Haley tonight. It'll be sophomore Garen Langford again. He's 0 out of 4 passing, 1 interception, no yards yet, no touchdowns. But he had a big game on the ground last week, 14 carries, 71 yards, and that RPO offense. He averaged 5.07 yards per carry. And if he can do that again tonight, Justin White, Howe Bulldogs are going to be successful if he and Rattler can keep doing what they did a week ago. Go ahead with the Palmer defense.
All right, let's go with their Palmer defense. On the defensive line, at defensive end, number 80 is Landon Ledbetter with 54 tackles. Julian Ramirez at defensive tackle. Jet Maxwell, the senior, at defensive tackle. The other defensive end is Ivan Chavez with 46 tackles. Outside linebackers are Caden Langthorne, a senior. The other outside linebacker is Ethan Pummel with 52 tackles. Leading tackler on this team, MVP on the defense and probably the offense as well, Cutter Burrow. He's the lead tackler, 67 tackles. He's at middle linebacker. And in the secondary, Cannon Cisneros at cornerback, Luke Leach at the other cornerback, Drew Powell at free safety is a senior, and then the strong safety is Braylon Lopez.
The hit exterior starting defense for Howe up front, Tank Turner, the defensive end, Michael Riddle, the nose guard, and Ethan Mayo, the defensive end. That is sophomore, junior. The linebackers, sophomore Bo Stevens and junior Cooper Jones on the outside. The inside will be Braden Ulmer, the sophomore, and the senior Carson Daniels. Cornerbacks tonight, sophomore Tristan Williams, sophomore Garen Langford. There's a theme there. There's a lot of sophomores on defense. Starting safety is senior Matt Hayes, and the free safety is junior Colin Murphy. Bo Stevens is your leading tackler at 107 on the season.
All right, let's go to the offense for Palmer. Starting on that left tackle on that offensive line, senior Ivan Chavez. Left guard is junior Nate Foshi. At center, senior Adrian Ramirez. At right guard is Julian Ramirez, also a senior. And then right tackle is senior Jet Maxwell. They got 4 seniors on that offensive line. Wide receivers are Elijah Garcia. Slot receiver is Braylon Lopez. Senior wide receiver is Drew Powell. The slot tight end is Brandon Martinez. And the junior running back leading rusher on this team, Cutter Burrow, and then the freshman quarterback, Eric Cisneros.
That's your Hit Exteriors starting lineup, your hometown Howtown Roofing Company, roofing with Bulldog pride, one shingle at a time. Let's go over the Howe Bulldogs overview, brought to you by Goodfellas Barbershop in downtown Howe, specializing in all cuts and styles. Straight razor shaves. Experience the old school feel at Goodfellas Barbershop in downtown Howe. Justin, let's talk about the Howe Bulldogs tonight. A little bit different look, at least for the uniform-wise. White tops, they're the visitors, but they're wearing black pants for the first time tonight. But that's not the overview that we're looking for. Let's talk about inside the game.
I think offensively they're going to rely on Antoine Rattler again. I think tonight, though, more Garen Langford's going to have to throw the ball a little bit. This is not Lone Oak where you could just run the ball down their throats. There's a lot of beef on that defensive line for Palmer, so you're going to have to get a little bit creative, and Langford's going to have to get the ball into some of his receivers. Now, he don't have to have 200, 300 yards, but I think to keep the defense honest for Palmer, you're going to have to throw the ball a little bit, and Antoine Rattler again is going to have a really big night again if they're going to be successful on offense. On defense, they're just going to have to swarm the ball, do what they've been doing. As far as tackling, be able to have textbook tackles, not having a lot of tackles be broken, and hopefully if you get a turnover in there, I think that will help as well. At least 1 or 2 turnovers.
And you can't turn the ball over at all if you're Howe.
Yes.
Let's talk down to our Night Furniture sideline reporter for the first time tonight. Caroline,
Hi.
You're on the turf. How's it over there?
I'm on the turf and I'm on Howe's side. I'm so excited.
That is nice.
I know. It's a great night. We're looking at 69 degrees, a perfect night. It's not too windy, rain not happening. We've got this beautiful blood orange moon.
Boy, isn't it?
I'm really nervous, y'all. I'm really nervous.
I've talked to Coach Brian before the game and asked him basically, how are the kids? Big game, big moment. He said, the kids are fine. I said, how are you? He said, oh, I'm great. He said, all the pressure is on them, not on us. He said, I'm fine. I feel great. Let's go.
Yeah, I thought the same thing too. Is everybody expects Palmer to win. Howe is 4th place in the district. Odds are against them. They got nothing to lose. They can play with their hair on fire tonight.
Howe's defense allows 204 yards per game, and that is 82 yards passing, or actually 204 yards rushing, 82 passing for a 286 overall. Howe has 19 sacks that the defense has got against the opposing quarterback. Palmer has 18 sacks as a defense, so that's something to watch also. Pretty much even in that area. So it's going to be one of those nights that anytime you get in the playoffs, everybody's pretty good, Justin.
Yeah, and the thing is about getting in the playoffs is on paper Palmer is probably better than Howe, but you just got to be better than them for one night. I know that's easier said than done, but just on one night you got to be able to play better and be better that night. It's not a best out of 3, best out of 4, or best out of 7 anytime. Best out of 5, best out of 7 series. It's one game tonight, and if you can be better than them, then you have a chance to go on to the next round. And I believe play the winner of Millsap and Callisburg. That is the winner of this game plays the winner of that game.
Let's talk to the Blizzard for the first time tonight. Our statistician, and he's got so much insight on the Howe Bulldogs and Palmer. Talk about this game and how you see it shaping out.
Last week when Howe got here to Lone Oak, they knew they were going to run the ball with Antoine Rattler. Palmer saw the game plan on film, and this week I see Howe mixing it up. Antoine will still get his carries, but I see Cooper Jones running the ball more. I see Garen Langford getting more carries, but I do agree with Justin. Garen's going to have to get some passing yards tonight. He doesn't need 200 like Justin says. I'll say 50 to 100 to keep the Palmer defense on their toes.
I'm looking for a halfback pass out of somebody tonight. And it could be the lefty, the closer.
Carson the closer, Daniels, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think you could see a closer.
It could definitely happen. It'd be something to see, too.
I wouldn't rule it out. But also, Cooper Jones can throw the football back there as well. I mean, you got a lot of options. And at some point, you're right. You talked about this in the pregame show a week ago that, Howe, you mentioned it, Justin. Howe has a lot of weapons, dangerous weapons. And, you got to remember that you have Ryan Huff, and you have Braden Ulmer, and you have Cooper Jones, and you have Colin Murphy, obviously Antoine Rattler, and Carson Daniels. So there's a lot of things there. The Palmer Bulldogs come through their tunnel. Black jerseys, black pants, gold helmets, gold numbers. They are the Bulldogs. They have a gold and black tunnel, gold bulldog head. I think they lose the bulldog tunnel matchup here. I think Howe has definitely won the matchup in the bulldog tunnel.
And they look like the Purdue Boilermakers.
They are not
college team.
They are not the yellowish gold, not the road hazard gold.
Yeah. I guess it's the P on the side, the black P on the side.
Here come the Howe Bulldogs on the far side. White jerseys, black numbers, black pants for the first time this season. They're not white on white, it's white on black. The two-tone look with the black helmet. And it's just about football time in Texas. On my right, on the far side, way down, we've got a big box tonight. We've got the Blizzard, Blake Burnett, way down there in the first window. In the middle to my right is Jake Roberts, our engineer. On my left is Justin White. And down on the sidelines, Caroline Slauson. So the Bulldogs of each side, this is obviously not a situation where you say the Bulldogs picked up a first down.
Yeah, I know.
It's Howe and Palmer, because you could get things mixed up pretty easily. The good thing is it's a pretty night here, and you can see the scoreboard. The weather is good. There's no rain issues, and both teams are lining up for the national anthem. And last week we had a guitar. That was interesting. We had
righteous dude.
Yeah, Jimi Hendrix. But looks like there is maybe a slight chance of rain in the forecast. But the captain's coming out on the field. We'll check down with Caroline and let her take over here in the coin toss. Austin Haley, Aiden Burris, Ryan Huff, and Antoine Rattler coming out as the captains for Howe. Yvonne Chavez, and it looks like, let's see. The captains are talking to each other. You know, maybe a pull behind the curtain. I think this one may have been prearranged prior to now, before the actual coin toss.
Playoffs, as all of you know, playing athletics is really an honor. You're representing your schools, your families, and we wish you the very best, okay? We've had the toss. You have won the toss. Sir. You're going to receive.
How's going to
receive at this end. You're going to kick from this end.
Sure.
Put your backs on the 45.
Okay, right there. Let's see. Howe won the toss, and they will receive to start here.
Will receive the opening kickoff.
And handshakes from both teams, including a non-shoulder pad Austin Haley, who just has the white jersey on.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that all conversation.
It's a big loss. It's a big loss. But hey, the future is now. Garen Langford will be on offense first, and I think we're ready for the national anthem here. since 1994 for this broadcaster. It is football time in Texas, Justin White.
Congratulations on 300, sir.
It's been a long, that's a lot of games.
Yeah, 300.
Yeah, thank you. That's a lot. It all started in 1994 at Bearcat Stadium in Sherman, Texas with Lynn Burkhead and Bob Sullins. And who'd have ever thought 28 years later we'd still be doing this kind of thing.
And doing it for your hometown.
And it's the 100th Howe game I've done, so it all kind of lined up. But I think we're going to do some post-game 5A, 6A games perhaps on down the road. But we're doing Howe until Howe is out, so I'm planning on at least another 3 weeks, right?
Yeah, let's do it till mid-December.
So here comes the Palmer Bulldogs out to kick this one away. They're going to be traveling right to left. Howe left to right from our vantage point. So I'm thinking let me get my bearings about me. Is that north-south? I was calling it north-south a week ago. It's kind of southeast. Actually, it's kind of east to west.
Going east to west?
So Howe will be traveling southeast. Here's the Tech Wave kickoff. It's going to be taken on the near side, up the left hash. Breaking out for a moment is Colin Murphy up the far sideline and down at the 39-yard line. A good return by Murphy. That starts this football game. Howe traveling left to right from their own 39.
Well, that's what you like right there. A nice little boost on a good return by Murphy on that kickoff. Give them good field position at their own 40-yard line.
Just underway. First play about to come up. Howe, let's see where they spotted. Oh, they gave him another yard, so they'll mark it at the 40 to start this football game. Howe with two wides to either side. Man goes in motion as Cooper Jones. Handoff Rattler coming right side, finds a little seam, and he gains 3 yards to the 43.
Got a handoff off the middle and followed right there behind Roman Garbrandt, the pulling left tackle. And able to get 3 there. They're really going to depend on, I almost called Spencer Rattler, depend on Antoine Rattler tonight.
Again, watch for their big, perhaps maybe their district MVP, Cutter Burrow, the linebacker. He's their leading tackler, also has 4 interceptions. If Howe can kind of eliminate him, they'll be okay. Swing pass out, Ulmer looking for a block. He's got not much of one. 1.5 yards perhaps to the 45-yard line, and Langford completes his first pass of his career to Braden Ulmer.
Langford just a really quick pass out to the right side and see if Ulmer can do something in space, but Palmer did a good job of staying home and converged on Ulmer almost immediately after he got that ball.
3rd down and 5. Left to right goes Howe. 10:49 on the clock. Man in motion is BU. Now there's 3 receivers on the far side. One down here at the bottom is Cooper Jones. They look to the sideline for the play. It's 3rd down and 5. The clock rolling at 10:35. Left to right goes Howe. Black pants, white tops. Langford wants it, gets it, handoff. Rattler, no, he pulls it, and a pass is going to be intercepted at midfield. Going the other way to the 25, to the 35, and down at the 27-yard line. It was picked off by the linebacker, Caden Langthorne. And Palmer is in great shape to score early in this one at the Howe 22-yard line.
Unfortunately, that's what you have when you have an inexperienced quarterback. It was a RPO. He kept it and threw a slant across the middle. I believe that was intended for Colin Murphy. Threw it pretty far behind Murphy, and Langthorne was right there to pick it off and go back the other way. And they've got good field position here, Palmer does.
So here goes Palmer. And it's going to be a handoff to the right side. That's Lopez. And he'll gain 4 or 5. Quickly is Braylon Lopez. They'll give him 4.
Well, they come out in shotgun formation, 2 backs on each side. And they come to the line kind of quickly, almost kind of like a Bell slot T. Come to the line quickly and then snap the ball and go.
Spot the ball at the 18-yard line, a gain of 4. 2nd down and 6 coming up for Palmer. We're under 10 minutes. Cisneros is going to hand off on the near side. That's Burrow around the left side, and he's popped for a moment, but close to a first down, and I think he may have it at the 12-yard line. It's going to be close. No indication yet. And now they'll move the sticks.
Spread everybody out. Get him going downhill. Get Burrow going downhill around the left side. And didn't need a whole lot. Need about 4 or 5 yards able to get the first down inside the 15-yard line.
Cisneros sends 3 receivers left, and he's going to run that way. The freshman quarterback looking for a block. He's got the 10 and slung out of bounds by Braden Omer. And now a late flag comes in, and if they're going to get Omer on that one, that's not a good call because he just threw him out of bounds, but he was inbounds when he tackled him. I don't agree with that.
I don't either. He swung him down, but he swung him inbounds and swung him out of bounds, and they felt that was unnecessary.
That is ticky-tack, Mr. Rogers type of football right there.
I don't agree with that at all.
Well, that'll take it to the 6-yard line. Split out wide to the right goes Drew Powell. As I would imagine that they'll keep this on the ground. First and goal from the 6. Cisneros, handoff, Lopez up the middle, he's in, barely touched. And Palmer's on the board first with 9:06 left to go in the first. It was the interception that set him up.
They're going quickly with the extra point here.
Swinging gate look, and they're going to try to hit the 2-point conversion. Cisneros hits, I believe that's Cutter for the 2-point conversion. And Howe is trailing 8-0 with 9:06. We'll be right back. Here's some things to never mess with if you're not a trained professional. Caging a bulldog. Removing copperheads. And electricity. Don't get shocked. Call Rapid Electric. Rapid Electric is here for all your electrical needs. Just like you wouldn't try to become a pro boxer or president. Not a joke. You need a pro to keep your electricity humming. Don't get shocked. Rapid Electric serves the Grayson County area. Call them at 903-421-8100.
I'm attorney Micah Belden, an old school black and white Howe Bulldog. In criminal defense, you need someone who fights like a bulldog. Call me now if you've been investigated, arrested, or charged with a crime in North Texas. My number is 903-744-4252. We'll set up a free consultation. You will find out that I'm rough, tough, and I can't get enough. I'm board certified in criminal law by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization, Principal Office, Sherman, Texas. Visit my website at shermancriminallawyer.com.
Palmer with an early 8-0 lead after Howe had an interception on their first possession. This is a big kick on the Tech Wave kickoff, going to be taken by Cooper Jones at the zone 5-yard line. Coming to the left side, looking for a block. A pretty good return up to the 30 and slammed down, or he dove down at about the 32. So Howe with fairly good field position to start this thing with 8:57 on the clock here in quarter number 1. Let's talk down to our Night Furniture sideline reporter, Caroline. Early deficit. How they feel?
Yeah, I mean, the spirit down here is not diminished at all. It's very loud. We got the Rattlers going, and here we go, fresh start. First and 10, left to right. Langford in the gun, Rattler to his right, 3 receivers near side, pulls it out. No, he hands it off to Rattler, trying to find the left edge, shoestring tackle, and Rattler dives forward for about 3 yards. It looked like it was going to be maybe a loss or at best a gain of 1, but Rattler somehow dove forward for about 3.
RPO action there, give it to Rattler, and Rattler was going to be caught, like you said, at the line of scrimmage, and somebody had a hold of his right foot, and he just kind of bounced around and then finally dove for about 3 or 4 extra yards to make something literally out of nothing.
They'll give him 4 yards, 2nd down and 6 coming up. 8:21 and rolling. And a flag before this one can get underway, and typically that's going to be against the offense. We'll see what it is here.
False start on Roman.
On Garbrandt. So back it up 5, and it'll be 2nd down and 11 now. Can't do that against good teams. You certainly can't do that, the sophomore, with a false start. So back it up to the 32-yard line. 8:12 on the clock. It is rolling. Howe comes to the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 11. Highway 69 in the background. And this is Langford just going to keep it over left side. He's tripped up. Looked like he had a big lane and was going to go for a while, but he was tripped up at the last minute, which will take him to the 35-yard line, a gain of about 3.
Well, one thing we talk about Garrett Langford, one thing he is probably better at Austin Haley at is running the ball. He is a run-first type quarterback, and if he sees a sliver, he's got plenty of room to run. He can run.
3rd down and 8 coming up. They look to the side for the play. It's Jones, Ulmer, and Murphy at the bottom. Ryan Huff up top by himself. Rattler to the right side of Langford, who's in the gun. Rolling out right is Langford under pressure, and he's going to be brought down for a big loss. Back to the 21-yard line. I believe on the sack might have been the defensive end. I think that was Ryan Chavez.
I think it was Burrow. I think they rolled him to the right side, and Cutter Burrow read it all the way. As soon as he saw a hole through, he flew through that hole and took down Langford in the backfield. Didn't get a chance for him to set up.
15-yard loss back to the 20, and Jones will punt. It's a low kick, and I think it was partially blocked. It's going to be picked up by Burrow. There's a scramble for it, and now a late flag comes in, and we'll see what this is, but Palmer right now has the ball at the Howe 33-yard line. Just a terrible situation. It was a low kick, and a Palmer Bulldog got a hand on it.
I think it was Ethan
Pummel.
Pummel.
It was on Bo Stevens for jumping on the guy after he was already on the ground.
So a personal foul on Stevens.
Ethan Pummel got a hand on the ball, and as Blizzard said, one of the Palmer players jumped on it, and I thought Bo Stevens was going for the ball, and I guess they considered that a late hit. We're trying to get in there and see if he can get the ball out of the pile.
Isn't it a live ball when the ball's tipped at the line of scrimmage? How is that a penalty?
It was a live ball, and I guess they had possession on the ground. I didn't think it was a penalty.
So now Palmer has started at the Howe 22 and now the Howe 18. And this is Lopez coming near side. He's going to be brought down just inside the line of scrimmage. A nice job by Langford to scrape over to make that play.
Trying to get the running back running downhill. A good pursuit by by Howe. Can't say the Bulldogs, by Howe on that one. Only a 1-yard gain. And yeah, you can't give a team like this, like Palmer, field position literally inside the 30-yard line two times in a row and expect to win a ball game.
Cisneros sends Lopez in motion from left to right. He rolls out right, wants to throw in the end zone, and it's going to be intercepted. About 3 yards deep in the end zone. Howe has it. Who has it?
Colin Murphy.
It's his 4th interception of the season.
Cisneros rolled to his right, tried to head a receiver kind of back of the end zone, but Murphy was reading his eyes the whole way. As soon as that ball went up, Murphy went up at his highest point, brought it down in the Murphy zone, brought it down, and got his 4th interception, as you said.
I was about to say, who was going to say it?
And
Cisneros got trapped in the Murphy zone.
Cisneros had Lopez wide open in the flat too there. He just made a bad read.
So here comes Howe from their own 20-yard line with 5:47 left to go in the first. It's been a disastrous first, and here's another offsides by Howe. And it looked like Michael Riddle may have left a little bit too early.
It's odd because it seems like we haven't seen that a lot from the offensive line. A lot of miscommunication and moving early.
Well, remember, you have a new quarterback in there. The cadence can sometimes be different, but they have had 2 weeks now straight of working with nothing but Langford. You'd think they'd have this ironed out.
Yeah.
But they're moving it back to the 15-yard line. And apparently that's some kind of Palmer fan or something. Here's Rattler going to take it back to the 20. He'll get the yards back from the penalty.
There are a lot of big holes opening up for Antoine Rattler. He's having to fight for just about everything he can get as he's able to get back to the original line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 10.
5:22 and rolling in the first. If Howe can score here and tie the game, it negates this disastrous start. And you might want to put a star by Colin Murphy's name if they're able to do something here. Langford, handoff Rattler, left side, bounces it out to the corner. Looking for the far side, has a first down to the 33-yard line. Great. And that's the first down for the Bulldogs of Howe tonight.
Great read by Langford. Held that ball in the belly of Rattler as long as he possibly could, read the defense, and then gave it to Rattler, and Rattler was off around that left corner. You know, as always, he's always shot out of a cannon every time he gets the ball. Not a lot of standing around or jumping around. He hits those holes very quickly.
13 yards for Rattler as we're just about at the 5-minute mark. It stops at 5:02 as he went out of bounds. 1st and 10, left to right. The Howe Bulldogs with Rattler on the left side of Langford. Man goes in motion as Daniels handoff up the middle. Rattler not much doing there, but he squirts through maybe for 2 yards. I have no idea how he got 2 yards there.
That's a big defensive line that they have for Palmer. Landon Ledbetter, Julian Ramirez, Jet Maxwell, Ivan Chavez. There's a lot of beef there on that interior defensive line. So
you think that's Ivan or Yvonne?
I'm saying Ivan, but you think it's Yvonne?
I think it's probably Yvonne.
Yvonne?
I don't know. I'm just guessing. I don't know.
Like Yvonne Rodriguez?
Yeah. I mean, if it's Hispanic, it's usually Yvonne.
Okay.
If it's Russian, it's usually Ivan, right? I don't see any Russian. I think we have the only Russian. Here's a handoff. No, Langford's going to keep it around the left edge. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. He was trying to find that far corner, couldn't do it. But back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard, as the near line judge says, the 36-yard line. We'll see where they spot it. The officials for tonight's game out of the Dallas chapter, the referee is Thomas Poore, the umpire Stacey Ashby, the head linesman Manny Santana, the line judge Peter Green, the back judge Mark Crawford, the field judge Gregory Mitchell, and the side judge Scott Solomon. On 3rd down and 7, this is a big play for the Howe Bulldogs. 14 yards shy of midfield. The whole game's been played on that side of the field to this point. There's a timeout been taken by Howe. We'll take one too. We'll be right back right after this.
Since 2011, Scoggins Funeral Home and Crematory has walked with hundreds of families through the most overwhelming time of their lives. Their job is simple: to make this season a little easier. What you can expect is a no-pressure, people-first philosophy, custom services for memorials that you'll remember forever, and reasonable pricing. Tommy and Bobby K. Scoggins have built a reputation over the past 30 years in the funeral business for making every family feel at home. Visit ScogginsFuneralHome.com or call 903-482-5225.
If you're a small business owner in Howe, Texas, think about everything you need to help your business succeed. You need a plan, happy customers, and an insurance agent that gets you. My name is Corey Hernandez, and I run a State Farm agency. Because I'm a small business owner myself, I understand the unique needs of local business owners. My office and I will make it easy to choose the right protection for you at the right price. Call State Farm agent Corey Hernandez at 903-893-8400 or visit InsuranceQuoteXHoma.com for your small business needs today.
Big play right here. 3rd down and 7 for the Howe Bulldogs. Left to right from the left hash. 2 receivers near side. A tight end an H-back into the game is Carson Daniels. Langford's going to throw it. He's got a man. It's going to be caught by Ryan Huff. And he makes his way to the 40 on the other side. Huff with a big play picks up the first down.
That's what you need right there, the RPO again, and able to hit Huff on that left side. Huff missed one tackler, and he was off to the races. Used some of that foot speed to get into Palmer territory.
24 yards on the pitch and catch from Langford to Ryan Huff, and it was a straight line dart. 3:10 on the clock. Handoff, Rattler near side. He's got Carson Daniels in front of him. And he's going to be gang tackled by black jerseys after about a yard. Actually, Daniels kind of got in his way right there. He was trying to find the corner and get around him, but he couldn't get around Daniels to make his move, and it's only a gain of 1.
Yeah, he was caught behind the line of scrimmage and got pushed back a little bit. That offensive line got pushed back some and found a little sliver of light and able to get a yard out of that.
2:39 on the clock. We're in quarter number 1. Howe on the Palmer side of the field for the first time tonight. It's been a disastrous start for the Bulldogs, but they only find themselves down by a touchdown. 2nd down and 9. Man in motion is Daniels. From left to right, handoff, Rattler, right side. A great tackle from behind the line of scrimmage. Coming up for Palmer, the first man there was Ethan Pummel, the linebacker, and that's going to be a loss of a yard back to the 40.
You know, guys, even though 2 leaders on this team are not playing, Bryce Crosby and Austin Haley, they are still giving their respective positions, those guys, advice. Every time they look over, they're giving them, what to do and how to help.
3rd down and 10 coming up. Your Night Furniture sideline reporter, Caroline Slauson. 1:43 on the clock. Langford drops back, throws it deep down the field, looking for Cooper Jones. He makes the catch at the 15, strolls into the end zone. It's touchdown time in Texas. But hang on, there's a flag down at the 18-yard line, and this could come back.
It does seem to be on Howe.
It might be a push-off on Jones. It was a jump ball. And I think Jones was getting positioned like a rebounder, and he got his arms all over the defender.
It was one-on-one with Cannon Cisneros and trying to get position, as you said, kind of pushed off a little bit as he went up there to come down with the catch.
That's a big, big penalty that'll push Howe back on the other side of the field at the 45-yard line.
I like the play call.
I do too.
I like trying to get into one of your best player's hands. Let him go up and get it, but one of the few times we've seen this year, he's been called for the offensive pass interference.
Yeah, I don't remember another one. Is that the first one?
It's got to be.
So 3rd down now and 45 for Howe. Right to left goes Ulmer in motion. 3 receivers up top. Langford wants to throw again. Deep down the field, left side looking for Huff, and it's going to be incomplete just over the head of Huff. It would have been a first down had he been able to snag it, but it went just out of his outstretched arms and incomplete. And now it'll be punt time for Howe again.
That's one of those plays you just throw it long and just hope you can either draw a pass interference, or even if it is intercepted, maybe kind of like a long punt.
And now Jones is going to have to get the ball up in the air this time on the punt. No line drive punts here. You can't afford for it to get blocked again. Lopez stands at his own 20 to return this thing. Jones is a low line drive kick, but it gets over everybody. Bounces at the 22, inside the 15. Lopez lets it bounce and lets it roll, and it's going to be killed by Bo Stevens at the 13-yard line. So a good punt by Jones.
Well, unfortunately, Howe was not able to capitalize on the interception on the last drive. And Palmer strikes me as a team, they don't make a lot of mistakes, so that'd been nice to be able to capitalize on that.
Boy, they were very close on the Jones. So here comes Palmer. From their own 13-yard line, empty backfield for Cisneros. 2 receivers to either side. Burrow, the H-back, and Cisneros is going to run it on the right side. He's got a lot of room. Now up the middle of the field. Comes still to the middle of the field, now near field 30. Look out 40, drug out of bounds by Matt Hayes near the 45-yard line, just shy of midfield. A big run by the freshman quarterback, Cisneros.
That was quarterback run all the way. He's a short guy, and he is fast. He's kind of built like a slot receiver almost. And he's very quick with the ball in his hands.
We've got 4 down linemen for Howe. On the interiors, Michael Riddle and Charlie Turner. We haven't seen Malin Walker yet tonight on defense. 1:09 on the clock here in the first quarter. 8-0. Palmer in the lead. They'll spot it at the 43-yard line. 1 receiver either side. They bunch all together, hurry up, and now here comes Cutter, and he's hit by Riddle at the line of scrimmage. A big play right there by Riddle and Bo Stevens and Tank Turner, and it'll be 2nd down and 10.
Trying to get Burrow running downhill, and good job by Riddle there to scrape off his block and make a tackle at the line of scrimmage before Burrow could get moving upfield.
They do a traditional bring the play in, and Elijah Garcia brings the play in. 36 seconds left to go in the first. Howe trailing 8-0. Cisneros empty back. All by himself, 2 receivers to either side. He wants it. He gets it, drops back 1 step. Everybody covered up. He had plenty of room to run. Now he hits a receiver over the middle of the field. And I think that's going to be Lopez for a first down on the Howe side inside the 40 to about the 38-yard line. And it is Lopez.
Amazing protection for Cisneros. Had a lot of time back there, then kind of moved over to his right, and then found Lopez there in the middle of the field.
What kind of poise is that from a freshman quarterback? To just hang in the pocket and hang and hang and hang, and finally found the open man.
Yeah, wise beyond his years.
And that's the end of the first quarter. It's not been a great one for the Howe Bulldogs, let's be honest. But they only trail by 1 touchdown, 8-0. We'll be back right after this.
At Grayson Cullen Electric Cooperative, GCEC, we have been around for over 80 years and are governed by 7 principles: open and voluntary membership, democratic member control, members' economic participation, autonomy and independence, education, training, and information, cooperation among cooperatives, and concern for community. One of our communities is Howe, Texas, and GCEC is proud to support the Howe Bulldogs.
This is Michelle Castle with Guild Mortgage, welcoming you to Howe Bulldogs football. Guild has been delivering on the promise of home to hundreds of thousands of people just like you for over 60 years. With a big heart and a desire to serve, we're committed to making life better in our communities. This is where we live, and we're committed to building it with you.
Guild Mortgage Company, Equal Housing Opportunity Company, NMLS number 3274. Michelle Castle, NMLS number 231122. Branch address 714 North Travis Street, Sherman, Texas 75090. All loans subject to underwriter approval. Terms and conditions apply. Subject to change without notice. We were talking within the break. We don't, Howe's been called for 5 penalties, Palmer none, and we're not sure any of the Howe penalties could be penalties except for the false starts.
Really has. The Cooper Jones penalty, we've seen worse during the season.
So we flip sides. Palmer moving left to right. Handoff Lopez coming near side looking for the corners. Got the corner. Escapes the tackle of Murphy. Escapes the tackle. Finally Cooper Jones is going to bring him down. But he drags Cooper Jones for about 5 or 6 or 7 yards. And that's Lopez to the 10 or 11-yard line. 26 yards for the slot receiver Braylon Lopez.
They got different running backs they can get, receivers and backs they can get the ball to, and they're perfectly built for the spread. Big offensive line that can move, and then fast receivers on the outside, quick running backs on the inside.
11:33 on the clock. This is going to be the quarterback keeper on the right side, dragging defenders to the 1-yard line, 2-yard line. They'll give him the 1. So Cisneros just dragging defenders.
And then they have a dual threat quarterback in Cisneros who can throw the ball, run the ball. That time he keeps it on the read option and cuts right off the middle up to the 2-yard line.
What is Cisneros going to look like when he's a senior?
Oh, man.
I mean, he is really, really good, and he's a freshman, and he's not a small kid by any means. They want to snap it quickly. Cisneros handed off to, that's going to be Burrow, met at the line of scrimmage, and he's knocked backwards a little bit. He got back to the line of scrimmage. And the Howe defense trying to make another stand right here. It'll be 2nd down and goal from the 1.
Impressive. Michael Riddle able to make contact on Burrow right there to slow him down, and the rest of the defensive line able to take him down back to the line of scrimmage.
So at the 2-yard line is where they'll spot it. So it'll be 3rd down, and actually they just need to get to the 1 for a first down. So it's 3rd and 1 from the 2. A yard will give them a fresh set of downs. We got a long way to go here.
Wow.
Receivers go split out to either side. Everybody else, well, now we got 2 receivers. Man goes in motion as Martinez dropped the football. The ball's on the turf, and Palmer's going to recover it at the 6-yard line. Howe had an opportunity right there, but they could not get to the football on the fumbled snap. And now it'll be 4th down, and this is the best case scenario Howe could have. It's 4th down and 5 from the 6-yard line. That's a break for Howe. We'll see if they can capitalize.
I looked down for just a second. Blizzard, did he fumble the snap on that one?
Fumbled the snap, then picked it up, and then Bo Stevens hit and made him fumble again, and then their lineman jumped on it.
9:49 on the clock here in the 2nd. 3 receivers left side. Cisneros looks that way, throws that way in the end zone, all alone in the end zone Touchdown Lopez. The back corner of the end zone on the far side, near the top of the B in Buffaloes. And it's 14-0 with the PAT coming up, 9:40 on the clock here in the second.
Man, just a fade route to the back corner of the end zone. Daniels was in coverage and trying to get there, just couldn't get there in time as he lofted over the shoulders. Beautiful throw by Cisneros to Lopez.
A traditional PAT here. And it'll be a true PAT. And that will be Adam Leach banging it through. 15-0, Palmer in the lead, 9:40 left to go in the second. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Matt Linder with Linda Hamill Insurance. Your home field is where everything happens. And I'm not talking about Bulldog Stadium. We're talking about your home, your car, and your life. For over 30 years, we've been offering bundle discounts on home, auto, and life. We offer Germania and Progressive insurance protection, as well as many others to suit your needs. Call us today at 903-965-4098 or come by and see us at 106 North Broadway in Bells, Texas. That's 903-965-4098.
Who's your local plumber? Brother Plumber. It's good to know someone local and someone you can trust when your home or office drops the ball.
Mainline break, 15 yards.
Brother Plumber is plumb professional and serves not only Howe, but also all of Grayson County. And you can save yourself 10% if you mention Go Bulldogs. Visit us online at brotherplumber.com. We'd love to help. Brother Plumber is one call away at 469-968-4487. Visit us online at brotherplumber.com. Remember, Go Bulldogs. Apparently there was a personal foul on Howe there, as it appears that Palmer's going to kick off from the Howe 45-yard line. So look for an onside kick coming right here. Palmer in the lead, 15-0. They just scored on an 8-play, 87-yard drive. And
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, guys, I can't tell if it was Carson or Bo, but someone, they got him for talking a little too much.
15-0, Palmer in the lead, and again, look for the onside kick here, and Howe knows it's coming. They've got Ulmer, Daniels, Langford, Tristan Williams, your usual suspects on the front line here. And the kick is an onside kick, and it goes over the head and out of bounds. So let's see what Coach Bryan elects to do here. Just take the ball at the 25, or would it be 30 on the penalty? What do we got here? What kind of options do we have, Blizzard?
I believe it'll be the 35 with the penalty.
I think it's a 5-yard penalty.
No, you're right. This is 30, yeah. It used to, because if you kick it out at the 5, that's the 10.
Yeah, I think it'd be 35. I thought it'd be 35.
Yeah, because if you kick it at the 5 out of bounds, they don't get it at the 10. I thought it was to a certain spot.
Or they're discussing that right now. Right now, it's at the 30.
Yeah, I think that's.
Oh, wait a minute. Now they're putting it at the 29. That makes no sense. Unless it's from where it went out of bounds.
That's not right.
Yeah, that's not right. Because why wouldn't you just kick it out of bounds every time?
Okay, well, that's what they're going to do. Howe from their own 29-yard line.
Don't know how they got there.
Okay. 1st and 10, they move right to left now in the second quarter, 9:40. First possession of the second quarter for the Howe Bulldogs. And I think we're ready to go. There we go. There's the whistle. Langford in the gun with Rattler to his left. And this will be a handoff to Rattler, right side. Escapes a tackle. He's got a little bit of running room. First down, past the 40 to the 43-yard line. And Rattler, for one of the few times tonight, escapes.
I like that they put a couple extra tight ends, one on each side, on the left side and right side. Give you a couple extra blockers. Bo Stevens being one of those guys. And gives some extra blockers for Rattler to rattle off a good, nice 12-yard. 14-yard run.
Rattler just limped off the field too, guys.
I saw him get up a little bit gimpy there, and that's not good news, as now Carson Daniels will be in the backfield to the right side of Langford. 9:08 on the clock. 1st and 10. Langford's going to keep it around the right edge, looking for that far corner, spinning out of a tackle. A gain of maybe 3 or 4 up to the 46-yard line. And now Rattler, I believe, is coming back in.
Wow.
I think he just got the wind knocked out of him.
After last week, I didn't know you could actually hurt the guy or get him tired or anything. What a performance that was a week ago.
Well, we kept saying, it's like as the game went on, it's like he ran stronger.
I thought he could have ran the ball 50 times.
Probably could have.
He's like Earl Campbell. So it's 2nd down and 7 after the 3-yard gain by Langford. And this will be a handoff to Rattler. Up the middle, he's met right in the middle. And he goes down after he spins maybe for a yard. But he did get back to the line of scrimmage, and I think they'll give him the 46.5-yard line.
Man, he ran right up the gut, like right up the hash marks, ran into Julian Ramirez, the defensive tackle, spun off another guy, and able to get maybe another yard out of it.
Ball on the right hash. 3rd down and 6. Howe looks to the side. Malin Walker with his hand still on the football. Clock at 7:49 and rolling. The offensive line talks to each other. Kind of hard to hear. It's a big crowd tonight. Playoff crowd. 3rd down and 6. Langford rolls out of the pocket, steps up in the pocket. He's going to be sacked at the 41-yard line. A loss there of about 5, and it's punt time for Howe again.
Man, the rush was on. There was no chance of even dropping back to give time to throw the ball. He was under attack as soon as he got the snap.
Yeah, Palmer knew it was a 3rd down, and it was a pass down for Howe, and they sent the dogs there.
So it's 4th and 12 with 7:10 on the clock. And Jones will stand at his own 28-yard line to boot this one away. Lopez to return will stand at his own 25. And this one's a low line drive kick right at Lopez, but it's going to bounce right by him, and it's going to roll barely into the end zone about 2 yards deep. And Lone Oak will take the ball at their own 25-yard line. Let's take a quick timeout. We'll be right back right after this. Independent Financial is proud to support Howe ISD and their hardworking students, teachers, and staff. We share your vision for a brighter tomorrow and a championship season. For every challenge, Independent Financial has you covered. Our team can suggest a wide range of financial products to make your personal banking fast and easy. Plus, we have the know-how to deliver the game-changing business banking solutions. Independent Financial, your community in your corner. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. 6:54 on the clock, and here is Palmer. Cisneros wants to throw. Lots of time in the pocket, throws deep. That's going to be caught by Brown and then dropped. He had it for about 2 steps. If I were Howe, I'd be wanting a fumble right there. But they're going to call it incomplete shy of midfield as Drew Brown had it and dropped it. He was wide open. He had to step on the defenders.
Kind of a post route, and he hit him, and it hit him right in stride, and he caught that ball. He was gone. But just, it hit him right there in the chest. Just could not hang on with it.
Drew Powell, I think. I may have caught him.
Brown, yeah. Drew
Brown, yeah, it's Powell. Palmer comes to the line of scrimmage on 2nd down and 10. Deep in their own territory, left to right, from their own 20-yard line. And Cisneros rolls out right, throws it back on the screen pass, caught by Burrow. Plenty of room, lots of space in front of him. A flag is down. He's up to the 50 on the house side, out of bounds at the 40. Lots of running room there, but a flag down near two flags down near the line of scrimmage. I think it's going to be a blocking infraction.
Yeah, it will be. Cornerback Tristan Williams got caught in the trash there, and they held him as he was trying to get off a block.
What? Burrow had so much room in front of him, too.
But it was a great play call by Palmer, yeah.
Good thought.
I mean, there was nothing but green turf and rubber pellets, and that was it. So they'll back it up from the 20 to the 10. Well, it's a spot foul. Let's see where they spot it. From the, 17? Is that where 18? So it should be somewhere around the 8-yard line. 9, in between the 8 and the 9-yard lines where they'll spot it. Yeah. So it'll be 2nd down and 21, it should be.
Legal block in the back.
No, they marked it from the 14, the 24 to the 14 there.
Oh, that's okay. Okay.
Second down, 15.
So 2nd and 16, we'll call it. 3 receivers bunched together on the left side. Man goes in motion is Burrow. He gets the hand from Cisneros from right to left and slung down by a Howe defender at about the 24-yard line. And it'll be...
That was Cooper.
It'll bring up 3rd down and about 6, a long 6 for Palmer as they spot it near the 24-yard line.
They just have so many weapons on this Palmer team. There's a lot of speed on the outside, and they've got jet sweeps and interior runs and Cisneros who can run the ball and pass the ball. They got so many different options and a big offensive line to block for them.
We do have a Malin Walker sighting on defense. Cisnero in a pistol look. He wants to throw. Pressure from the middle and a deep ball down the middle of the field. That one's Powell again. This time he can't bring it down, and the flag's going to be called on Langford, and I don't understand what the penalty is there. Yeah, I do not understand, and there's palms to the sky on both Murphy and Langford trying to figure out why that's a pass interference. And that's a bailout.
That was a bailout. He did not touch him before the ball got there at all.
It was just right. I mean, it was just good timing. Able to knock the ball away and make contact, but it was right when the ball got to the receiver.
Boy, I tell you what, I don't think the film is going to be good for this Dallas crew here. I don't want to criticize officials, obviously. There is a UIL thing there, so I don't want to do that. But I tell you what, Howe is taking it on the chin on these calls, and they're getting called for all of them.
And they're crucial calls. They're third down type
very
calls.
Crucial.
I mean, every call in playoff football is crucial, but it's really seems like it's third downs and different opportunities.
That is just ticky-tack. And here's Cisneros handoff. Burrow up the middle, escapes a tackle. He's got a first down, or close to a first down run. Near midfield at about the 48-yard line. Needs to get to the 49 for a first. He's a yard shy of that. And here comes Palmer quickly to the line of scrimmage after the 8-yard run by Burrow. A low snap, now a screen pass out far side that goes through the hands of Powell and incomplete. He was wide open as Langford was playing way off of him. And it's 3rd down and 1.
That was kind of a trick play, Monty.
Yeah.
They acted like he was going to call the play in, but he stood right beside the coaches and never ran a play in. And
I get it. So, now you understand why he was so wide open.
Yeah. Howe kind of forgot about him. He was over there, right there in front of the bench for the sideline for Palmer.
So the incomplete pass brings up 3rd down and 1. Checking into the game is Landon Ledbetter, and he comes split out wide to the right side. 3rd down and 1, and now a timeout's been called by Palmer. We'll take 1-2, 15-0. Palmer in the lead, 5:16 left to go in the second.
Hello, this is Rosie the Skunk for Atmos Energy. You might think I make a bad smell, but it's nothing compared to the rotten egg smell of a gas leak, because that could be dangerous. If you think you smell, see, or hear signs of a leak, don't do anything that might cause a spark. Leave immediately. Then call 911 and Atmos Energy. There's no gray area here. When dealing with gas leaks, it's black and white. For more information, visit atmosenergy.com/gas safety.
Austin Haley's coming to the sidelines.
Oh no, let's hope Haley's okay. Caroline, can you get the mic in there?
Coach, I'm starving. I can't keep going.
But you're the starting quarterback.
Coach, I can't help it. I need something quick.
Hang on. Doreen, quick. Go to Sonic, get a burger, tots, and a shake.
Make it an M&M blast.
Doreen, make that an M&M blast. Large.
Coach, I'm sorry, but Sonic of Howe is where you get great food and big smiles. It's not just good.
I know, it's Sonic good. Hang on, Doreen, bring me some onion rings. Those things really bring the hammer down.
Hey, there's a crew in Commerce I would like to have right about now in this football game. 3rd down and 1, and here is a toss backside. That's going to be a first down by Burrow and Moore to the 40. Dragging Colin Murphy and other defenders to the 32-yard line. What a run by Burrow. Murphy will get the tackle, but he got drugged maybe 10 yards.
Wow, toss to that right side, then cut it back in the middle of the field. And Burrow just kind of kept spinning and kept moving his legs for extra yardage.
15 yards for Burrow, 4:50 on the clock. Handoff, this is near side. Lopez had a lot of room in front of him, but he stumbled and fell at the 20-yard line. Another first down for Palmer.
You start to feel like Palmer is starting to, the punches are just slowly trying to knock down Howe. I mean, it's just, I feel like this thing's about to unravel here soon.
Ball at the 20-yard line. Go ahead, Blizzard.
Palmer was not set on the offensive line on that last play either.
It doesn't matter, apparently, with the Dallas officials. First down and 10, left to right. Two backs in the backfield. Straddle Cisneros, handoff Burrow up the middle. He's got lots of good blocks, and he stumbles forward. Close to a first down. I think he's got it to the 9-yard line. And now, all of a sudden, Palmer's racking up about 9, 10, or 11 yards of carry.
They run a spread, but they got so many different formations that they run out of. They can run two backs. They can run a heavy set. They can run a empty backfield. Just got so many dimensions to the spread offense.
There are teams that are multiple, and then there are teams that are multiple.
Yes.
And Palmer is maybe 3 times multiple. Cisneros, handoff. Burrow, left side, spinning out of a tackle, is going to be brought down inside the 10 at about the 7-yard line.
Got a Howe player down, looks like.
Charlie Turner on the tackle.
It might be Malin.
It is Malin.
And he is really in some pain right now at the 10-yard line. 3:36 on the clock here in the second, and he is in some pain. We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll be right back. Here's some things to never mess with if you're not a trained professional. Caging a bulldog. Removing copperheads. And electricity. Don't get shocked. Call Rapid Electric. Rapid Electric is here for all your electrical needs. Just like you wouldn't try to become a pro boxer or president. Not a joke. You need a pro to keep your electricity humming. Don't get shocked. Rapid Electric serves the Grayson County area. Call them at 903-421-8100. And he is being helped off the field. It's something with his right leg, but he is not walking greatly on that leg. Let's hope he doesn't have fatheritis there and some kind of an ACL issue. But he is not walking like he might come back. We'll see. 3:36 left to go in the second. Howe down 15-0. Michael Riddle comes back into the game. Palmer at the 7-yard line. Cisneros in the gun. Lopez goes in motion. Cisneros rolls out right, looks in the end zone, fires in the end zone. Caught in the end zone from Lopez. He just rolled in motion from left to right, kept rolling out to the near side, and Cisneros found him about a yard deep, right in the near corner of the end zone. 21-0, awaiting the PAT.
What's interesting, Cisneros also he's limping around. He's not at full strength as far as his running ability, but he's able to run there and still fire off a pretty good pass.
And the PAT looks up, and it is good. 22-0. Palmer in the lead. 3:24 left to go in the second. We'll be back. Baker Air Conditioning and Heating has been in business in Howe for over 50 years. They even predate the volleyball program and the marching band. Norman Dickey was the new coach when they opened up. Baker Air Conditioning and Heating has been able to serve the good people of Howe and surrounding areas because, well, they're good people. If you've been told you need expensive repairs, get a second opinion with Baker Air Conditioning and Heating. Call 903-532-6255 or see them at 215 Denny Street. Baker Air Conditioning and Heating. Austin Haley's coming to the sidelines.
Oh no, let's hope Haley's okay. Caroline, can you get the mic in there?
Coach, I'm starving. I can't keep going.
But you're the starting quarterback.
Coach, I can't help it. I need something quick.
Hang on. Doreen, quick, go to Sonic, get a burger, tots, and a shake.
Make it an M&M blast.
Doreen, make that an M&M blast. Large!
Coach, I'm sorry, but Sonic of Howe is where you get great food and big smiles. It's not just good.
I know, it's Sonic good. Hang on, Doreen, bring me some onion rings. Those things really bring the hammer down.
3:24 left to go in the second. 22-0. Palmer in the lead here in Lone Oak over Howe. We're going to check down with Caroline, our Night Furniture sideline reporter, in a moment, because there's somebody up here who would like a report on what's going on with number 54. Here's the Tech Wave kickoff. It's a high pooch kick going to be taken at the 20-yard line by Matt Hayes, coming up the near side, and can't escape the tackle and will be brought down at the 29. Caroline, do you have anything?
Yeah, he is out, and it looks to be his MCL.
Oh.
MCL?
Yes.
MCL. Okay.
Well, that's terrible news. 3:19 on the clock, 22-0, and now obviously a change at center. Michael Riddle will come in. 22-0, Palmer in the lead. It's just been a gut punch all night long, and that one got pretty bad. Here's Langford, and a toss back to Cooper Jones, who fires it on the halfback pass to Langford. He makes the catch and now runs from one side of the field to the other. He's fast. He's got the far side 50 and out of bounds there. A first down near midfield or right at it on the other side.
Riddle is down on the 45-yard line.
Oh, no. I don't know who's going to play center now.
Jeez, yeah, who's the backup?
To the backup. Ball at the 46 after the halfback pass.
There's your halfback pass you're looking for.
Yeah, you called it, and it worked out.
I don't think it was planned to go from
this
side all the way to the other, but
Garen made something out of nothing there once he got it.
It looks like this could be a possible cramp. And we haven't seen those in many months. But it doesn't look like it's completely serious, as they're looking like they're working on a cramp there. And Ricky Ake and head coach Lance Bryan come out to talk to him, and they're giving him some water. Hey, I know we need to take a timeout, but maybe we should wait and see. I'll tell you what, let's take one because they always pop back up. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's me, Gus the Gopher for Atmos Energy. I dig all around the yard. Occasionally, I bump into a utility line and get a headache. But if you hit one with your shovel, backhoe, or ditch digger, you could cause a gas leak, disrupt service, or worse. So call 811 at least 3 business days before you or someone else digs in your yard to have those underground utility-owned lines marked. It's free and it's the law. You dig what I'm saying? For more on safe digging, visit atmosenergy.com/811.
Riddle is going to walk off under his own power. I think it might have been just a cramp. 22-0, Palmer in the lead, 3:07 here in quarter number 2. And already a casualty at center as Malin Walker, what we hear is an MCL tear.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
I didn't get any more information that it is his MCL. It looks like he is standing right now. I will tell you that.
So maybe it's not a tear?
Don't get me on here. Don't get me on here saying stuff.
I don't want to speculate.
But I will say Jesus Garcia has checked in as center.
Who has?
Jesus Garcia.
Okay. 1st and 10, right to left. 3rd string center into the game. Handoff Rattler. Bounces it left. He's going to be hit after maybe 3 yards to the 43-yard line. And Howe on the Palmer side of the field, down 22 as we get ready for the Bullard Construction halftime show. 2:47 on the clock.
Do you try to go to the, trying to figure out what the game plan is here. Do you try to go to the air again with Langford or just keep running with Rattler if it's there?
Riddle back into the game at center on 2nd down and 6. And Langford wants to throw. Screen pass out, caught by Ulmer. Lowers his shoulder. He's going to get back to the line of scrimmage. Stays in bounds and maybe a yard to the 42-yard line.
That quick pass over the right side, and Ulmer just lowered his shoulder, trying to get something, and Palmer stood him up right at the line of scrimmage. And I think Coach Cater wanted to flag on the other side, maybe a late hit out of bounds. And now you are in probably a passing situation right now. Third and 5.
Third and 5. Under 2 minutes with 1:44 left to go before the half. Langford in the gun, Rattler to his right. Daniels goes in motion from left to right, and now somebody jumps offside. It's the sophomore Garbrandt again with a false start. That's the second of the night. And instead of third down and, well, it looks more like 6th and 5. It's going to be third down and 11. And that stops the clock at 1:38 momentarily.
Now definitely you're going to have to try to pass the ball. I wonder if you could try to maybe go down to Cooper Jones again for another jump ball.
So it's 3rd and 11 with 1:30. Big play here if you're going to hang around in this thing. Langford drops straight back, throws it deep down the field. Feet got tangled up down the sideline, no flag. Of course, there's no flag when Howe needs one, as it was intended for Cooper Jones, and now it'll be 4th down and 11.
Feet got tangled. They had Cannon Cisneros covering and Braylon Lopez at safety to come over to help. But feet got tangled and both of them went down. Incomplete pass, 4th down.
1:19. Fourth and 11, and Jones is in punt formation. He'll stand at his own 41-yard line. Howe's going to have to take a timeout because they didn't know who was going to snap on the punt. We're going to take one, too. We'll be right back. Independent Financial is proud to support Howe ISD and their hardworking students, teachers, and staff. We share your vision for a brighter tomorrow and a championship season. For every challenge, Independent Financial has you covered. Our team can suggest a wide range of financial products to make your personal banking fast and easy. Plus, we have the know-how to deliver the game-changing business banking solutions. Independent Financial, your community in your corner. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Who's your local plumber? Brother Plumber. It's good to know someone local and someone you can trust when your home or office drops the ball.
Mainline break, 15 yards.
Brother Plumber is plumb professional and serves not only Howe, but also all of Grayson County. And you can save yourself 10% if you mention Go Bulldogs. Visit us online at brotherplumber.com. We'd love to help. Brother Plumber is one call away at 469-968-4487. Visit us online at brotherplumber.com. Remember, Go Bulldogs. Jones, a low bouncing kick, going to be picked up by Lopez at about the 7-yard line, coming near side. He's going to be run out of bounds by Colton Little at about the 31. Also there is Colin Murphy. And now Palmer will have it from their own 31-yard line, moving left to right with 1:06 left to go.
And I guarantee you with 1:06 left, Palmer is going to try to punch this in one last time before they...
And they're going to get the ball back.
Yep. So you have a chance at back-to-back possessions.
And they could put this game away in a hurry. They sprint to the line of scrimmage. Pistol look. Cisneros toss right side. That's Lopez. A lot of running room. Cuts it up. Makes Colin Murphy miss. Escapes the tackle. And finally Cooper Jones will bring him down at the Howe 45-yard line. And Cooper Jones gets up a little gimpy. But it looks like he's okay.
Pitched it out to to Lopez, and Cisneros just comes in and helps be a blocker there.
24 yards on the carry by Lopez. 3 receivers bunched together on the far side. Burrow goes in motion. They fake it to him on the jet sweep, hammering it deep down the field. Knocked away by Colin Murphy. A great play with his left paw to knock it down at the 17-yard line. The Murphy zone.
Heads up by Colin Murphy. Because I don't know if he makes that, if he doesn't make that, tap that ball down, that may be a touchdown, another touchdown on the board.
36 seconds on the clock before the half. Powell bringing the play in, and he'll go split out wide to the left. Everybody else runs to the line of scrimmage. 36 seconds. Second down and 10, left to right from the Howe 45-yard line. Handoff, no. Cisneros wants to keep it up the middle. Busted play, and he escapes the tackle of Tank Turner, and he's going for another 5 yards. Turner had him, I thought, for a moment. And that'll be a good 5-yard gain for Cisneros, and he made something out of nothing right there. And I'm hearing it's an MCL strain for Malin Walker, and that's good news, if there is such for a strain.
Strain better than a break or tear.
We need to take a quick timeout. We'll be right back right after this.
Hi, this is Matt Linder with Linda Hamill Insurance. Your home field is where everything happens. And I'm not talking about Bulldog Stadium. We're talking about your home, your car, and your life. For over 30 years, we've been offering bundle discounts on home, auto, and life. We offer Germania and Progressive insurance protection, as well as many others to suit your needs. Call us today at 903-965-4098 or come by and see us at 106 North Broadway in Bells, Texas. That's 903-965-4098.
3rd and 5 as we come back left to right. Palmer trying to punch it in right here right before the Bullard Construction halftime show. Whew. It's been a rough first half.
Yeah.
It really has. 22-0 right now, looking for more. 24 seconds left to go in the half. 3rd down and 5 for Palmer. Pistol formation. Cisneros turns, toss, Burrow up the gut. No, that's Lopez. He'll have the first down and a little bit more to the 34-yard line. Got the first down by a yard. They'll move the sticks.
They try to go fast. Now Palmer only has one timeout in the back pocket.
14-13, they spike it. To stop the clock, it'll be 2nd down and 10. Boy.
Spike stops the clock with 11 seconds. 2nd down, 10 for Palmer.
So there's 11 seconds, and everybody feels like they've been punched in the gut a little bit, right?
And if you're Howe right now, you just feel like you're just kind of barely holding on right now, and you need to kind of hold on here until halftime, get in the locker room, regroup, lick your wounds, and kind of go back to second half, see what you can do.
It always seems this way, too, in a playoff game. When you're getting beat, you start losing players, and that just adds on insult to injury. Literally. Here's Cisneros, swing pass out. Burrow dropped it, picked it back up, so must have been a lateral. He's coming near side, flag down at the 22, and so is Burrow. It's a first down at the 22 or 3, but let's see what the flag is about.
It looked like a legal man downfield.
So that should end the half. It cannot end on a defensive penalty.
I'm surprised Palmer didn't try to go downfield with it more. Throw the ball downfield and see if they come up with like a jump ball, like a Hail Mary, basically.
Well, they're coming off the field as if it may be a defensive penalty.
I mean, they definitely had linemen downfield, but if it was a lateral, that's not a penalty.
Holding against Palmer.
Indicated against Palmer.
So that should be it, right?
Clock says 1 second left. Surely that's not just 1 second, right?
Did they call a timeout with 1 second? They might have called a timeout there. I heard the buzzer, but
timeout called by.
Yeah, they did. But the penalty will take it back to the 40-yard line.
So they're gonna throw a Hail Mary to the end zone.
You know, with the way they've been slicing through the defense with Lopez, you know, you could run a toss sweep right here, or Burrow, either one. I mean, they've been gaining big yardage on chunks. You don't necessarily even have to throw the football here. But Cisneros can certainly do so.
He's got an arm. I mean, and for a freshman, he's fast. And then just when he throws the ball, his delivery is just real smooth.
Does he remind you maybe a little bit of the freshman version of Kevin Henry Jennings that we saw last year of South Oak Cliff?
Kind of, yeah.
A freshman version. I think by the time he's a senior, he could be perhaps a senior version of Henry Jennings.
He definitely has the body type and the speed and the accuracy already.
Yeah, he's an outstanding weapon. I mean, look for Palmer to, boy, if they can, they're a very senior laden team here. I mean, there's a lot of seniors. If they can continue to build around him, they're going to be something to deal with for quite some time.
Coach Waddle over in Palmer's got a pretty good system. He's had some pretty successful teams here these last few years.
1 second on the clock. Last play of the first half, and now what? A timeout by Howe. We're going to take 1-2. We'll be right back.
This is Michelle Castle with Guild Mortgage, welcoming you to Howe Bulldogs football. Guild has been delivering on the promise of home to hundreds of thousands of people just like you for over 60 years. With a big heart and a desire to serve, we're committed to making life better in our communities. This is where we live, and we're committed to building it with you.
Guild Mortgage Company, Equal Housing Opportunity. Company NMLS number 3274. Michelle Castle, NMLS number 231122. Branch address 714 North Travis Street, Sherman, Texas 75090. All loans subject to underwriter approval. Terms and conditions apply. Subject to change without notice. At Grayson Cullen Electric Cooperative, GCEC, we have been around for over 80 years and are governed by 7 principles: open and voluntary membership, democratic member control, members' economic participation, autonomy and independence, education, training, and information, cooperation among cooperatives, and concern for community. One of our communities is Howe, Texas, and GCEC is proud to support the Howe Bulldogs. Here we go again. 1 second before the Bullard Construction halftime show. I want to thank all of our sponsors all season long for being with us. Second down, but this is going to be Burrow. Last play of the first half. Toss left side, spinning out of tackles, and Colin Murphy is going to drive him underneath the rubber pellets at the 29-yard line. Get off me. That's the end of the first half. Not a great one for Howe. 22-0 Palmer in the lead. We've got Lady Bulldogs interview with head basketball coach Ashley Anderson. We've also got the Bandsman of the Week, which is Angie Liss, the band director. We'll see you on the backside. Bullard Construction is owned by former Bulldog Jonathan Bullard. If you're in need of skid steer land clearing, dirt work, a pad site built, construction cleanup, fencing, automatic gates, or even more, contact Bullard Construction at 903-267-9701. They'll give you a free estimate. Bullard Construction is locally owned and operated in Howe, Texas, but serves the North Texas region. Call Bullard Construction at 903-267-9701. 903-267-9701. Here's some things to never mess with if you're not a trained professional. Caging a bulldog. Removing copperheads. And electricity. Don't get shocked. Call Rapid Electric. Rapid Electric is here for all your electrical needs. Just like you wouldn't try to become a pro boxer or president. Not a joke. You need a pro to keep your electricity humming. Don't get shocked. Rapid Electric serves the Grayson County area. Call them at 903-421-8100.
I'm attorney Micah Belden, an old school black and white Howe Bulldog. In criminal defense, you need someone who fights like a bulldog. Call me now if you've been investigated, arrested, or charged with a crime in North Texas. My number is 903-744-4252. We'll set up a free consultation. You will find out that I'm rough, tough, and I can't get enough. I'm board certified in criminal law by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization, Principal Office, Sherman, Texas. Visit my website at shermancriminallawyer.com.
All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights is proud to sponsor the Pride of Howe High School's Bandsman of the Week. Your hometown Bulldog alumni owned and operated business is here for all your seamless gutter and outdoor Christmas lights needs. Give them a call at 903-819-9183 and let them make your house shine really bright this Christmas. All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights. Give them a call at 903-819-9183. All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights.
You're listening to the Bullard Construction Halftime Show. Today's Bandsman of the Week is brought to you by All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights, a firefighter family-owned business. Call them at 903-819-9183. Now let's join Monty Walker with this week's Bandsman of the Week.
This week's Bandsman of the Week is actually the band director, Angie Liss. So your season starts in late July with band camp. It's a long season with a lot packed into a few months. How's this season gone?
It's gone really well. I mean, it is a lot in a short amount of time, but then you turn around and it's over. Like but we did well. It's busy, and you think it's never going to end, and then all of a sudden here you are, and you're at the end.
So your theme this year was above. Overall thoughts?
That came from a snippet that was sent to me by a parent of Betty, who ended up being our vocalist, singing "Fly Me to the Moon," which was one of my favorite songs, and it just grew from there.
Your team placed well and would have qualified for state. It's not a state year, unfortunately, but is that going to change soon?
According to the latest UIL updates, the Legislative Council met and has gone with the wishes of the directors across the state and superintendents, and it looks like that we'll go to every year. So we're real happy about that. I always say it's like saying to the football team, "Oh, hey, you were 10-0 and it's your best season, and your team has a camaraderie, but nope, it's not your year to go to the playoffs." So we're excited about the opportunity to go every year.
So this is kind of a situation where you can say 2022, we were going to win state that year.
Yeah, that's exactly the way it was going to happen.
So concert season, what does that mean now?
Everybody always thinks, marching season's over, so I guess you have a chance to rest. No, we have Winter Guard that starts up. We do all region tryouts. We have Christmas parades, Christmas concerts, UIL concert and sight reading, all region clinic and concert. It just keeps rocking.
Now, you're a Howe High School graduate. You're married to a Howe Bulldogs former quarterback. Football is big for your family. Is this the perfect job for you?
It is absolutely the perfect job for me. I mean, I get to live and breathe. I live and breathe football during football season. I mean, I'm going to Green Bay this weekend to watch Cowboys and Packers. So, just to be able to be in the environment and know the kids that are out there playing and participate in the game, it's a lot of fun.
Recent grandchild. Brag a little.
Recent 3 grandchildren. Okay, I have one that's 2. Jones turned 2 in July. And then the day after his second birthday, Eleanor was born on July 31st. On October 11th, we got another little girl, Elliot Grace. And then just a week ago, we have Maverick that was born. So got 4 total now.
Getting to spend a lot of time up there with the grandchildren?
Trying to. I'm using some of those days I've accrued and taking days here and there to go be with them.
Now, you're in a legacy fantasy football franchise. How's your team doing?
You didn't have to ask me that. It started off rocky, then it got a little better, and then everyone got hurt. So that's where we're going with that.
Well, at least you're going to see your quarterback up in Green Bay.
Actually, both my quarterbacks, because Aaron Rodgers is my quarterback and Dak Prescott is my quarterback. So,
So who are you going to start?
Dak,
okay. That is Angie Liss, the band director at Howe High School.
Today's Bandsman of the Week is brought to you by All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights, a firefighter family-owned business. Call them at 903-819-9183. You're listening to the Bullard Construction Halftime Show. For skid steer clearing, dirt work, and other construction, call Jonathan Bullard at 903-267-9701.
Since 2011, Scoggins Funeral Home and Crematory has walked with hundreds of families through the most overwhelming time of their lives. Their job is simple: to make this season a little easier. What you can expect is a no-pressure, people-first philosophy, custom services for memorials that you'll remember forever, and reasonable pricing. Tommy and Bobby K. Scoggins have built a reputation over the past 30 years in the funeral business for making every family feel at home. Visit ScogginsFuneralHome.com or call 903-482-5225. Bullard Construction is owned by former Bulldog Jonathan Bullard. If you're in need of skid steer land clearing, dirt work, a pad site built, construction cleanup, fencing, automatic gates, or even more, contact Bullard Construction at 903-267-9701. They'll give you a free estimate. Bullard Construction is locally owned and operated in Howe, Texas, but serves the North Texas region. Call Bullard Construction at 903-267-9701, 903-267-9701.
You might know that State Farm agent Corey Hernandez has great service. Corey is your good neighbor after all. But did you know State Farm has surprisingly great rates too? That's right. State Farm agent Corey Hernandez is here to help you select the right protection at the right price. Corey will make sure you understand your State Farm coverages so you'll know what to expect if the unexpected happens. Call State Farm agent Corey Hernandez at 903-893-8400 or visit insurancequotetexoma.com. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights is proud to sponsor the Pride of Howe High School's Bandsman of the Week. Your hometown Bulldog alumni owned and operated business is here for all your seamless gutter and outdoor Christmas lights needs. Give them a call at 903-819-9183 and let them make your house shine really bright this Christmas. All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights. Give them a call at 903-819-9183. All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights.
You're listening to the Bullard Construction Halftime Show. Today's Lady Bulldogs Volleyball Spotlight is brought to you by Independent Financial. Now let's join Monty Walker with this week's Lady Bulldog.
The Lady Bulldogs Spotlight this week is head coach Ashley Anderson. Now, Coach, this is the first Lady Bulldogs basketball season in Howe without Derek Land since, maybe the internet was new. So talk about that and how's it like being around here without Coach Lands around?
Well, it's definitely different. He's been such a staple in this area, just in girls basketball in general, and someone I really looked up to coaching against him and just watching him coach throughout the year. So I definitely miss his leadership and just being able to go into the office and be mentored by someone that has so much experience when we're going through some things. But he's just a phone call away, so we've still kept in good contact. But it's very different. It's just a different vibe than it's been over the last year or so.
So before we dive too far into basketball, let's recap volleyball. You're the head volleyball coach as well, and your program is having to rebuild, and your team showed strides this season. Talk about the process.
Yeah, I was really proud of them. We had we knew this year was going to be tough. Our district is a gauntlet. It doesn't matter what night it is. Everybody's going to give you their best game, and we still have teams still in the playoffs. So, but we had some girls come out that brought some leadership and some ability, and we really bonded throughout the season and ended up doubling up on our wins from last year. Still get a good young group back. We are graduating quite a few seniors, which will hurt, but our young kids really grew this year, and I think we could be, hopefully take a big step next year with the experience. We lost a lot of close games this year where we just, we're still learning to win. And once that clicks, I think we're going to be in the hunt next year. So.
All coaches have favorite players, whether they admit it or not. Of all the players you've ever coached, who stands out as your favorite?
Ooh, probably my very first group, and it's not just one. There was a group of 4 girls that were 8th graders when I started at Dodge City, and they were kind of a rough group. Everybody was like, I don't know if they'll ever make it. And they ended up, when they graduated, they by far have been one of the groups that will always be, they call me Mama A because we went through a lot together. We lost one to a car accident when they were sophomores. One of the best kids maybe that I've ever coached as far as just true ability, 6'3", could play. And in that group, we had a bond that will never be forgotten. So not only just we won a lot of games and we had a lot of fun, and we went from winning 2 games when they were freshmen to winning 24 when they were seniors. And, that was a special thing, just going through a lot of adversity, but then also seeing them be able to persevere. Now they're all great. They have great careers and families, and to me, that's what this is all about. And so I think they'll always be it's not just one kid because they were kind of one together. But
speaking of adversity, you're a cancer survivor. Talk about that battle.
Yeah, this is year 14 or something since I was diagnosed, and 8 or 9 since my transplant, and it's been an up and down battle and fight, and I'm very blessed now to be completely in remission. But I think with that, when I first started, I knew I always wanted to coach, but going through that process, I think made me a better coach. I got it taken away from me and didn't think I'd ever get an opportunity to do it again. And so when I finally was able to come back and step back into, the coach's box and get to stand in front of kids and be able to mentor them, I think for me, it just changed the whole perspective on what is really important. Winning is great, but playing athletics my whole life, I think, prepared me for the battle that was cancer. And I don't think going through those things in my younger years of, winning and losing and fighting and going through injuries and things like that, and having those mentors and those people around you, that family and team, I think that built me into who I needed to be to fight that and to win. And now I get to hopefully share those experiences with our kids. And I think, for me, it just puts everything in perspective. And I think that's really important, especially with everything our kids go through.
And with the experiences that you had talking about, being a basketball player, you were a good basketball player. And how does that help relate to these young ladies on your team?
I think I can understand, whether it's the better player on the team, I think I can relate to that, the pressure that's put on you from whether it's the head coach or just your teammates of what it takes to kind of carry the load sometimes when you feel like it is on your shoulders. But then at the same time, getting to mentor them and say, hey, we're a team. There's other people out here. You don't have to do it all yourself. I struggled with that as a player. My personality is very much I go do it. And that's how I was when I played. And so hopefully I can, I see both sides of it, whether it's, hey, we got to be able to help each other out here, and handling the pressure of, you've got to go give me this tonight. We have to, in order for us to be successful, you've got to do this. And when you have to do that, it's a different mentality. And, going through that, I think I definitely can relate to some of those things. So.
What are Howe fans, basketball fans, what are they going to expect to see from the Lady Bulldogs this season?
I hope a lot of heart and grit. That's one thing. We have got to be a good defensive team. We've got to be able to, just really get after people. And sometimes we're going to have really good matchups. We've got some size, we've got some speed. But at the end of the day, it's going to be like how well we play together and can we, game plan to be able to put ourselves in the best situation. But, we plan to play a lot more up tempo. We've got a lot of mixtures of groups that we're going to go. Sometimes we're going to be going pretty quick, and sometimes we may have to slow it down, and you're going to see a lot of bigs in there and, more pick and roll and just, we got to go. We got to get after it. And the kids have really bought in. I mean, practices have been, tough and really gritty. We're diving after balls and doing those things. And if we can do that, then we're in a good position come, January, and that's where we want to be. So
every team has senior leadership. Who are you looking to for that role?
I have 5 seniors, I think. 5 or 6, I don't know. There's a bunch of them. But, Tegan Stubblefield's a returner from, probably the most varsity experience. And, for her, just the way she gets after it. She may not always be the vocal leader, but she's definitely going to lead by example. And for us, I think right now she's going to be a big one. And then the other ones, Ginger Doty got some varsity experience last year. And then we have some kids coming from the JV that I think are going to help us. Mackenzie Kruger, Itzel Conejo, and then Danielle Hargrove and Jordan Bruner is coming back out to play. So I think they're together just I think is going to be positive. But really I think we have to look to Tegan a little bit more just in some of those situations where maybe in the past she hasn't had to be on the forefront. I think she's going to have to be a little bit more in front of everybody this year. So,
who are the young players that could make an impact in this season's team?
We're going to have a couple of sophomores come up. Presley Shockey played last year on varsity. Got her playing a little bit of a different role this year. Put her back down inside, and we're going to try to get her to become a little more post player than a guard. But she's a sophomore, and then Bryn Riley right now has earned a spot on the varsity. And so we're really hoping they will come. Having sophomore kids that, if we can have them for 3 years together, especially that size and length, it's good things for us. And we're hoping to see big strides from them this year.
Is there a stated goal for the team this year?
Make playoffs. That's what we talked about when I took over back, in May or whenever I finally accepted the position or they offered it to me. I met with the girls and I said, what do we want to do? And they said, we want to be back in the playoff hunt. And so I said, okay, well, this summer we're going to have to do some things different. And just because we felt like we were behind, like the COVID year and a lot of JV players going to have to play big minutes on varsity. And they did. We played 30 games this summer, went to 3 team camps and played Colbert in the spring. And they were in the gym and playing lots of basketball, and they really bought in, and every time we'd step on the floor, we knew, okay, this is what we're doing. We may go get beat by Holiday, who's going to be probably in the state tournament this year, or whoever. You're going to go take your lumps so that we could be preparing for the opportunities to go face teams in our district and be successful.
That's your Lady Bulldog Spotlight with basketball head coach Ashley Anderson.
Today's Lady Bulldogs Volleyball Spotlight is brought to you by Independent Financial. You're listening to the Bullard Construction Halftime Show. For skid steer clearing, dirt work, and other construction, call Jonathan Bullard at 903-267-9701.
At Grayson Cullen Electric Cooperative, GCEC, we have been around for over 80 years and are governed by 7 principles: open and voluntary membership, democratic member control, members' economic participation, autonomy and independence, education, training, and information, cooperation among cooperatives, and concern for community. One of our communities is Howe, Texas, and GCEC is proud to support the Howe Bulldogs.
This is Michelle Castle with Guild Mortgage, welcoming you to Howe Bulldogs football. Guild has been delivering on the promise of home to hundreds of thousands of people just like you for over 60 years. With a big heart and a desire to serve, we're committed to making life better in our communities. This is where we live, and we're committed to building it with you.
Guild Mortgage Company, Equal Housing Opportunity Company, NMLS number 3274. Michelle Castle, NMLS number 231122. Branch address 714 North Travis Street, Sherman, Texas 75090. All loans subject to underwriter approval. Terms and conditions apply. Subject to change without notice. Bullard Construction is owned by former Bulldog Jonathan Bullard. If you're in need of skid steer land clearing, dirt work, a pad site built, construction cleanup, fencing, automatic gates, or even more, contact Bullard Construction at 903-267-9701. They'll give you a free estimate. Bullard Construction is locally owned and operated in Howe, Texas, but serves the North Texas region. Call Bullard Construction at 903-267-9701. 903-267-9701. All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights is proud to sponsor the Pride of Howe High School's Bandsman of the Week. Your hometown Bulldog alumni owned and operated business is here for all your seamless gutter and outdoor Christmas lights needs. Give them a call at 903-819-9183 and let them make your house shine really bright this Christmas. All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights. Give them a call at 903-819-9183. All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights.
You're listening to the Bullard Construction Halftime Show. For skid steer clearing, dirt work, and other construction, call Jonathan Bullard at 903-267-9701. Now let's go back to the stadium with Caroline Slauson, Justin White, Jake Roberts, and Blake Burnett.
Here at Buffalo Stadium in Lone Grove, 22-0 at the half. Palmer on top of Howe in this one, and got a lot to talk about. I think we all came in here thinking that it wasn't going to be quite like this. Justin, what is it? What is it that you think has held back Howe this first half?
Well, the injuries aren't helping things. I think offensively, they're getting a good push offensive line. They got some big holes and gaps that they're running through with their speedster backs and running backs and quarterbacks and receivers, and they got so many different multiple looks, so many different options to beat you at. If something doesn't work here, then they can try something there, So it's I think you got to get some stops defensively, and offensively. It sounds so cliche, but you got to put together a drive and put some points on the board right now, just to kind of get yourself back in the game and just kind of feel like you're in this thing.
Yeah.
Because Palmer gets the ball coming out second half. If they score that first possession, I hate to tell you, but this game's over pretty much at that point.
I do agree, Blizzard. What is it that you think that they're in there? What are some things that you think they're in there talking about at halftime?
Right now, Coach Bryan is just trying to gather his players together and get them to play for one another in this last second half. Tell them that anything is possible and go out there and play with their hearts and put together a big comeback victory. But to do that, they got to stop with the penalties. Yes, we agree that maybe they're iffy, but you can't give the ref a chance to throw the hanky. And they got to get an offense going. Looking at basically 80 yards total in that first half is not going to get it done at any level of football.
Yeah. I know y'all talked about this and talking about this these officials and all that, and by no means am we here to criticize, but it is it's tough. It's tough, and it's one of these things like they may just call it on everything, but got to definitely play smart.
And Palmer's the type of team that doesn't seem like. Maybe they hadn't been called for very many. They've only been called for 2 penalties, but they're pretty well disciplined themselves. So they're not going to shoot themselves in the foot. And get a lot of penalties called on them.
I know y'all have been talking about him, but this quarterback, this freshman, I cannot believe he's a freshman, and he will be really fun to watch for the next 3 years.
He does not play like a freshman at all.
It's just like you said, he's so composed and so focused, and it's fun to watch. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back here and look at some stats. 22-0 Palmer on top of Howe at the half. We'll be back.
You might know that State Farm agent Corey Hernandez has great service. Corey is your good neighbor after all. But did you know State Farm has surprisingly great rates too? That's right. State Farm agent Corey Hernandez is here to help you select the right protection at the right price. Corey will make sure you understand your State Farm coverages so you'll know what to expect if the unexpected happens. Call State Farm agent Corey Hernandez at 903-893-8400 or visit insurancequotetexoma.com. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Since 2011, Scoggins Funeral Home and Crematory has walked with hundreds of families through the most overwhelming time of their lives. Their job is simple: to make this season a little easier. What you can expect is a no-pressure, people-first philosophy, custom services for memorials that you'll remember forever, and reasonable pricing. Tommy and Bobby K. Scoggins have built a reputation over the past 30 years in the funeral business for making every family feel at home. Visit ScogginsFuneralHome.com or call 903-482-5225.
All right, we are back at Buffalo Stadium. The Bullard Construction halftime show. Caroline, Justin, Blizzard. All right, so let's go over some stats, Blizzard, for the first half.
We'll start with the Palmer Bulldogs. They are led on offense by Cutter Burrow, 9 carries for 69 yards. Barlin Lopez, 7 carries for 82 yards and a touchdown. Eric Ceranos. Eric Ceranos. He has 4 carries for 40 yards. So 3 for 6 passing for 30 yards and 2 touchdowns. Braylon Lopez has all 3 catches for 30 yards, but he has 2 touchdowns as well. Ceranos also has an interception on the day. We'll go into their defensive stats for Palmer, as they are led again by Cutter Burrow, who is just all over the field. Tackles, 1 sack. Tackle and a sack. Caden Langthorne has a tackle and an interception. Landon Ledbetter a tackle. Ethan Pummel has 2 tackles. Julian Ramirez has 2 tackles. Jet Maxwell has 1. And Cannon Cisneros has 3 tackles. We'll now go to House stats. We'll start with their defensive stats since they've been on defense a long time tonight. Leading tacklers at the half are Cooper Jones and Braden Ulmer, both with 6 tackles. Bo Stevens has 4 tackles. He also forced a fumble, but Palmer was able to jump back on it. Tank Turner has 3 tackles. Michael Riddle 2. Colin Murphy 4 tackles and an interception and a pass breakup. Matt Hayes 3 tackles. Garen Lankford 3 tackles. Antoine Radler 1 tackle, and Colton Little 1 tackle. On offense for the Bulldogs, Antoine Radler is the leading rusher with 10 carries for 45 yards. Garen Lankford has 5 carries for negative 14 yards. He has been sacked twice, and that is how he got to the negative yards. Garen Lankford is 3 of 6 passing for 26 yards. He also has an interception. Cooper Jones has 1 of 1 passing for 24 yards. That 1 pass was back to Garen Lankford. Braden Ulmer has 2 catches for 2 yards, and Ryan Huff has 1 catch for 24 yards. And that's about it for both teams, and they're both the Bulldogs here tonight.
Well, we'll take. Do y'all have highlights? So,
here, let me do some quick scores.
Yeah.
Just in the ones that we're primarily worried about. Of course, Gunner won their game by forfeit. The Cedar Hill TLC Tigers Trinity Leadership something. I can't remember what the C is, but they forfeited, so Gunner will advance to the next round of the playoffs. Blue Ridge is losing to Scurry Rosser 42-14. That's in the third quarter. And then it's a final. Bells has defeated Blooming Grove 42-13.
Wow. All right, so we're winding down on halftime. we'll take a break and be back. Monty will be back with the second half.
I'm attorney Micah Belden, an old-school black and white Howe Bulldog. In criminal defense, you need someone who fights like a bulldog. Call me now if you've been investigated, arrested, or charged with a crime in North Texas. My number is 903-744-4252. We'll set up a free consultation. You will find out that I'm rough, tough, and I can't get enough. I'm board certified in criminal law by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization, Principal Office, Sherman, Texas. Visit my website at shermancriminallawyer.com.
Buying and or selling your next home or property should be an enjoyable experience. At Texoma Land and Home Team, our commitment to the personal relationship of each transaction ensures communication you expect, while assuring that we'll be here the next time you need us. We're not a big box real estate company by design. This freedom allows us to be fully at your service. Texoma Land and Home Team, Renee Nichols Broker, 903-818-1645. Texoma Land and Home Team for all your real estate needs, 903-818-1645.
We are back for the second half of this bi-district championship. Class 3A Division II, Region 2, Howe Bulldogs and the Palmer Bulldogs. And Palmer making their way back on the field. Howe has already done so. If you're just tuning in, there's some injuries for Howe. Of course, you already know about Austin Haley. He's out. And Bryce Crosby, he's out. And now Malin Walker, he's out for the remainder of the season. Should that even go past tonight. He's got an MCL tear, apparently. Out 4 to 6 weeks. So that is a punch to the gut to the old, to dad up here.
Yeah. No basketball for him if he was playing basketball.
He's not going to play basketball. But he was in good spirits. I did sprint down to the locker room. So Howe comes back out on the field to kick it away to Palmer, who's going to start with the football. And that's not good news for the Howe Bulldogs, as Palmer already up 22-0. And if they score right here, it's going to be very difficult for the Howe Bulldogs to tread back into this football game. You've got to get stops. I mean, it feels like it's 5 touchdowns in deficit, but it's only 3. So, Howe can come back here. It's not unheard of whatsoever. Johnny Garcia on for the Tech Wave kickoff. He stands at his own 30, will kick from the 40. He runs to the football, and it's an onside kick, and it's going to be taken by an up man for Palmer. A great diving catch for the football, and that was Jace Jones who did so, but there's a flag down, and it could be offsides against Howe. But the official's talking to Lance Bryan, so let's see what we're going to do here.
Waving the flag off.
Oh, of course. So we're back to where we were in the first half, right? Where the officials just, it's like you can't catch a break tonight. So Palmer will have it at the Howe 48-yard line to start this second half. Sprint to the line of scrimmage are the Palmer Bulldogs. 2 men split out wide to the near side. Cutter Burrow in the backfield to the right side of Cisneros. They'll fake it to him. Cisneros wants to hammer it deep down the middle of the field, in and out of the hands of his receiver, Martinez. And it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10 from the Howe 48-yard line.
And just went straight up the field, just led him a little too much on that pass. He was a laser there to Brandon Martinez. Just led him a little bit too much.
Ledbetter to bring the play in for Palmer. They'll split the huddle. It'll be Powell split out wide to the right. Cisneros in the gun, toss near side. Quick pitch to Burrow, hit initially by Daniels and then cleaned up by Bo Stevens as Daniels turned him around. That's going to be a loss of 2 to midfield.
Palmer trying to get something going on the outside, which they had success doing that, but tremendous job by Daniels.
In the old days,
cut him off and push him back inside. Go ahead.
In the old wing T days, that was called the quick sweep. The quick pitch.
Yeah.
3rd and 12 coming up for Palmer. The huge moon is way up in the sky now. It was orange and barely over Highway 69, but way up in the sky now. 3rd down and 12. Cisneros rolls near side. Right to left is Palmer. Now he finds some daylight. He's going to take it up to the middle of the field. Left hash. Finally brought down after a first down run to the 30. Cisneros was not intent on throwing it when he found the open carpet. He took it.
Yeah, it looked like
20
he
yards.
looked downfield for a receiver, and then he just saw an opening and slipped right through it, and had some pretty good. He can run with the ball very well. He can cut very well, and just a tremendous runner.
He does just about everything you need back there. This is going to be a handoff to Lopez. He cuts it up the left hash and finally brought down after a pretty big gainer up to the 15-yard line. I believe that might have been Stevens on the tackle there. 15-yard gainer by Lopez.
It just seems like they're gashing Howe for 10, 15 yards a clip right now.
Well, it was 20 on the previous play and 15 on that one. 10-12 on the clock here in the 3rd.
And they're doing it all on the ground.
Palmer up 22-0, looking for more here. Turn around and toss to Burrow, but whistles before we can get underway. I think this one will. Are they going to be called for a flag?
I'm about to say, it seems like I haven't seen that in a while.
They don't get set when they do that hurry up. When they sprint to the line, their linemen are not getting set, and they finally called it for them.
Well, I think it's been that way all night, has it not?
Yeah, it's been that way every time they go to that sprint to the line. And they don't do it every play, but they do it occasionally, and they never get set in time.
They do it again here. First down and 15 as Cisneros throws, and this time actually he slips the tackle of Tank Turner and finds his wide open receiver in the end zone in the near corner, which is Lopez, just under the L in Lone Oak. 1 yard deep in the end zone. There was a penalty down around Cisneros, but apparently it was against Howe.
It was a face mask.
So that would have been on Tank Turner. It looked like he had Cisneros about to bring him down for the sack, but he slipped that tackle.
Yeah, he had Turner had him in his grasp, but when he reached around, he grabbed him by the face mask. Once Cisneros was able to get loose of him, had a receiver downfield all by himself, able to complete the pass and the touchdown.
So the PAT is Adam Leach, and the kick is up, and the kick is good. 29-0, Palmer. 9:45 left to go in the 3rd.
Buying and or selling your next home or property should be an enjoyable experience. At Texoma Land and Home Team, our commitment to the personal relationship of each transaction ensures communication you expect, while assuring that we'll be here the next time you need us. We're not a big box real estate company by design. This freedom allows us to be fully at your service. Texoma Land and Home Team, Renee Nichols Broker, 903-818-1645. Texoma Land and Home Team, for all your real estate needs, 903-818-1645.
Baker Air Conditioning and Heating has been in business in Howe for over 50 years. They even predate the volleyball program and the marching band. Norman Dickey was the new coach when they opened up. Baker Air Conditioning and Heating has been able to serve the good people of Howe and surrounding areas because, well, they're good people. If you've been told you need expensive repairs, get a second opinion with Baker Air Conditioning and Heating. Call 903-532-6255 or see them at 215 Denny Street. Baker Air Conditioning and Heating.
9:45 on the clock here in the 3rd. Palmer, undefeated at 9-0, is up 29-0 over Howe, who finished the regular season at 6-4. That after going 0-22. But the Bulldogs have a penalty there, and the 15-yard penalty on the face mask will be tacked off here on the kickoff, and this is going to be banged through the end zone. It'll actually land a yard deep, almost exactly where Lopez caught the touchdown a moment ago. Just under the L is where that ball lands, and Rattler lets it go. And Howe's going to have field position from their own 25-yard line.
Well, try to get back to the drawing board, but at this point, the game is maybe out of hand at this point. There's still a little bit of football left, a lot of football left, but you're slowly starting to see it slip away.
Yeah, this is how hasn't been in a football game like this all year? You know, even the games and boy, that little clacking thing has just got to go. I don't know who's doing that. Or here's a snap that's going to go back to Langford. He dropped it, had to pick it back up, and that's going to be a loss of about 4. Back to the
Langford's hurt too now.
Back to the 23. Uh-oh. Now Langford is down.
They smashed him. They landed on his back, 2 of those defensive linemen.
So we're trying to figure out who the emergency quarterback is before the game. We thought it was Huff, and we figure it probably will be. But they did call up a bunch of JV players on the roster, so it could, in an emergency situation, you could see Preston Reeves come in. He was the JV quarterback. Right now, Cooper Jones is throwing with Zach Cater. So maybe that's your answer. Let's check down on the sideline with our Night Furniture sideline reporter, Caroline Slauson.
Yeah, guys, no, I was just going to let you know that Cooper Jones is over here warming up as he looks like he'll be going in at QB. So just hate to see these injuries. Absolutely hate to see it.
Any others down there? I mean, are we in street clothes now for 54? What's the deal over there?
Let me see.
Shoulder pads off. I mean, I would imagine he's not coming back in the game.
I actually can't. Yeah, no, he is out of pads and in his playoff shirt.
And Langford gets up, and he is going to walk okay. Let's hope maybe he just got the wind knocked out of him. Boy, Ricky Aikes had a busy night.
He's definitely getting steps in from sideline to out to the field, checking these players.
It seems like that in every playoff game where you lose. There's just so many injuries. And every playoff game that I was in, the losing playoff game that I was in, I never saw it to the end of the game. My sophomore year, I rolled my ankle and was out. My junior year, I rolled my ankle again and was out. Missed 4 weeks of basketball both of those years. Actually, I did see the end of my senior year. Here's a handoff to Rattler looking for the left side corner. He's got the corner, about an 8-yard run. And Rattler's still showing life for the Howe Bulldogs as he's got a good gainer of about 8 yards there.
Was that senior year the one against Salina?
No, that was Van Alstyne. It's the only time Howe's met Van Alstyne in the playoffs, and they were really good that year. We had them in a close game at home about week 2, but the game got away at Clark Field in Plano the next year. Here's Cooper Jones. And the wild dog package, not much doing. He's hit right at the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard. Up to the 33 from the 32-yard line.
They've seen that on film when Cooper Jones, of course, he's having to line up his quarterback now, but they don't have to be ready for that, for him to be running the ball up the middle.
It's 4th down and 2, and Howe, with their backs against the wall, I would think they're probably going to go ahead and go for it here.
Yeah, I'm going to hear those rattles in my sleep, my dream tonight.
Wild dog package, 4th down and 2, and now somebody jumps off sides again, or false start against Howe. I didn't see who.
It was Braden Ulmer in the back.
We've had, how many false starts?
That is the 4th false start.
Are they all sophomores?
Riddle had 1, so not
okay.
all. So 3 sophomore false starts and Riddle's.
And the personal fouls, all underclassmen.
Yeah.
Well, the face mask, I guess, was on Tank Turner, so he's a junior. No, he's a sophomore.
He's a sophomore.
Yeah. Now Howe will punt it away, and this one's a pretty good punt by Jones. Nobody to return it. It bounces at the 27, takes a roll to the 18, now rolls up to the 19. And that's where The Palmer Bulldogs will take over. Appreciate all the kind words on text coming. Checking on Malin Walker. I appreciate everyone who's sent a nice word up here, including one official that we really like. He said praying for the man-child. I hate to hear that. That's what he said. So there's a bunch of people, and I appreciate that for all those listeners out there. 8:07 left to go in the third quarter, 29-0. Palmer in the lead. They rush to the line of scrimmage, going right to left, black jerseys. And Cisneros is going to hand off up the middle to Burrow, and he's met at the line of scrimmage. And for one of the few times here recently, Burrow goes nowhere, just back to the line of scrimmage, and Carson Daniels was there to make the stop.
This Bulldog defense is not going to go down without a fight. They're still swarming to the ball, and as you said, made things difficult for Burrow to get upfield.
Clock rolls at 7:39. At this point, it just can't roll fast enough.
No kidding. It really doesn't.
They sprint to the line of scrimmage. Palmer is, they've got everything you need. Here's a handoff to Lopez, running from left to right. He's got about 4 yards, maybe 5, up to the 24. They'll give him 5 yards.
And the winner of this game plays the winner of Callisburg and Millsap. I think that game is tomorrow night, I believe. So the winner of that plays Callisburg or Millsap.
If Howe were to win somehow tonight, come back from this crazy deficit, and Callisburg were to win, the plans were to play in Denison next Thursday night. Now that doesn't appear that it's going to take place. We were going to be in the Lynn Burkhead radio booth. Here's a fumbled snap. Cisneros picks it up, and he's going to be buried for a loss back to the 20-yard line. Yeah, Lynn Burkhead, he's the reason I'm doing this. He called me back in 1994. I was a 20-year-old kid. He said, hey, would you like to do sidelines for Sherman Bearcats? And I was always a huge radio fanatic. I used to listen to the Rangers radio broadcast on the back porch growing up. Listen to Mark Holtz and Eric Nadell for all of my childhood. Here's the punt. It's blocked punt. And Stevens blocked it. It's bouncing around at the 7-yard line, recovered by Howe, and the Bulldogs are in great shape to punch it in right here. The blocked punt by Bo Stevens. I believe he got his left paw on it, and Howe has it at the 5-yard line.
Man, that's one of those ones where the ball flipped in the air. Stevens didn't know where it was. And I kind of wish, I do wish a Howe player would have just picked it up and scoop and scored at that point.
Omer tried to, but he lost his feeding right as he was picking up the ball and just fell. And Howe has the ball at the 5-yard line, so let's be happy about that for once.
Well, I bet you're going to see the wild dog right here, as Cooper Jones is going to lead them out. No sign of Langford. We'll have to check with Caroline and see how that situation is taking place. Ulmer goes in motion for a moment now. He sets in an H-back. Rattler to the right side. He's going to get the carry from Cooper Jones, fighting his way towards the end zone. He's in. It's touchdown time in Texas. Antoine Rattler from 5 yards out punches it in with 6:02 remaining in the third to make it 29-6, awaiting the PAT.
All effort by Antoine Rattler. Got the handoff and just kept churning those legs, kept spinning, and that was all Antoine Rattler, able to use his strength and his power to get to the end zone and put the Howe Bulldogs on the board, crack the goose egg.
Yeah, you don't want to leave here with a goose egg, that's for sure. Howe's not going to do that, as it appears they're going to go for 2. Jones in the gun, and now flags are down at the line of scrimmage. Jones running, now throws in the end zone, a wide open Ryan Huff, and he misses him just over his head, incomplete, as Jones was trying to throw it on the run, and it looked like he didn't have a good grip of the ball when he threw it. But let's check the flag that's down. False start against Howe, and it's not going to matter. 29-6 our score, 6:02 left to go in the third. We'll be back. Austin Haley's coming to the sidelines.
Oh, no. Let's hope Haley's okay. Caroline, can you get the mic in there?
Coach, I'm starving. I can't keep going.
But you're the starting quarterback.
Coach, I can't help it. I need something quick.
Hang on. Doreen Doreen, quick, go to Sonic, get a burger, tots, and a shake.
Make it an M&M blast.
Doreen, make that an M&M blast. Large.
Coach, I'm sorry, but Sonic of Howe is where you get great food and big smiles. It's not just good.
I know, it's Sonic good. Hang on, Doreen, bring me some onion rings. Those things really bring the hammer down.
Hello, this is Rosie the Skunk for Atmos Energy. You might think I make a bad smell, but it's nothing compared to the rotten egg smell of a gas leak, because that could be dangerous. If you think you smell, see, or hear signs of a leak, don't do anything that might cause a spark. Leave immediately. Then call 911 and Atmos Energy. There's no gray area here. When dealing with gas leaks, it's black and white. For more information, visit atmosenergy.com/gas safety.
6:02 on the clock here in quarter number 3. Howe just got on the board for the first time tonight. It was a 5-yard touchdown by Antoine Rattler. It was set up by a block punt by Bo Stevens, which gave Howe the ball at the 5-yard line. And it only took one play on your hit exterior scoring drive recap. And the Tech Wave kickoff is coming up, and everyone in the booth and everyone in the stands on both sides believe this is going to be an onside kick.
It's got to be.
Johnny Garcia ready to boot this one away, and it is an onside kick. Bounding. It's on the ground, and I think Palmer has it. No. Although Howe says they have it. Caroline's excited.
Yeah. So you're telling me there's a chance.
So are you trying? Are you trying to make the?
Is that loud, y'all? I'm sorry.
Are you trying to make the what is it? The play of the week?
Homer
call of the week.
Hey, I turned ours in. Never heard back from them.
Yeah. Well.
Okay, sorry. I didn't know my mic was on. I'm not gonna lie.
6:01 on the clock, and is there a chance? Howe has the ball at the Palmer 44-yard line. Cooper Jones in the gun. Rattler to his right. Jones, handoff Rattler. Left side, 2 yards. And that's one thing, how well can Cooper Jones run the RPO?
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure how many reps he gets at that RPO. And that's a difficult offense to run if you don't do it all the time and read your defensive end and things like that. We'll see. 2nd down and 9. They look to the side. Howe without their starting quarterback, now without their backup quarterback, without their starting center, and their backup center into the game, and a miscommunication here as Jones thought he was going to fake it to Rattler. Rattler was not in the area. He tried to quick fire it out to Ryan Huff, and it fell incomplete. He one-hopped Huff, and it's 3rd down and 9.
Yeah.
And that looked like a lot of miscommunication there.
There was, and Cooper Jones, I don't think is much of a thrower. I mean, that he had an unorthodox delivery there as he short-hopped it to Murphy. And you may have to throw the ball down, but it may be 4-down territory. It is 4-down territory right here.
3rd down and 9. Jones is going to run with it, and he's going to be met by the defensive end. Jones is going to maybe get a yard to the 42-yard line. He was hit immediately by Ivan Chavez. And it's 4th down and 8. And I would imagine Howe's going to go for it here. Matt Hayes will check out of the game as he was in there on that play.
Man, if you could have done something with this possession.
But you're talking about Jones' throwing motion. He can throw the football. But he's got just like his long strides, he's got a long throwing motion. It's not a quick throw. Here's a deep pass out, and trying to come back for it is Huff. A flag is down, and Huff has the football at the 18-yard line.
It was Tristan Williams.
Was it Williams?
Yeah, it was Williams.
It was on the far side, and apparently the call is going to go against Palmer for one of the very few times tonight, and Howe converts on a 4th down to the 17-yard line. And Jones just laid up a prayer.
He just threw it up there and hoping draw interference, and Williams had to come back for it and got the PI call, and all of a sudden Bulldogs have something going inside the red zone at the 17.
Cooper just pointed at Tristan and gave him the thumbs up.
4:25 left to go in the third. Handoff Rattler up the middle, a little bit of a seam, maybe 5 yards. Inside the 15 to about the 13-yard line. So Howe all of a sudden starting to move a little bit.
And I assume Langford is still just, is he out or is he just still hurt?
Caroline, can you give us an update on Garen Langford? 350.
Yes, after the, yep.
3:55 on the clock. Handoff Rattler up the middle, hit and driven backwards. But he did get a couple of yards, but he was really hit hard.
Garen has hurt his hip. I haven't got word whether he'll go back in or not.
So Howe with all kinds of injuries.
But somehow they're mustering up a drive, putting together some kind of a drive here.
When these players were young and in youth league, they had a motto of never quit, and they used to chant it before and after every game and during every practice. Showing that here, Rattler, left side, cuts it up to the left hash, close to a first down, may have it. Right at the 7-yard line. I think Howe's got it.
That's straight up handoff to Rattler, and he went down the left side right behind Aiden Burris and plunges for the extra yardage to get the first down.
They'll spot it at the 6, and they'll move the chains. 3:02 left to go in the third. Howe not going away right here. Maybe their never quit attitude is hanging with them here. 29-6, but Howe looking to punch it in from the 6-yard line. Snap goes through Jones's hand for a moment, and then he grabs it, but the ball gets away as he was headed left, and now Palmer says they have the football. Palmer has recovered a fumble at their own 8-yard line, and would look like a Howe Bulldog turnaround, punching it in situation is now going to go the other way from Palmer's own 10.
Cooper tried to get around that left side. They just came from behind and knocked that thing away. And a turnover when you felt like you had something moving here.
Man, that is tough. That is really tough. So here is Cisneros just going to keep it up the middle, and he'll gain 2 or 3 yards.
Eric Cisneros to the keeper. Gain of 3.
You're going to be calling on your defense to see if you can try to get another stop. They are deep in their own territory. Maybe you can flip the field or get a 3-and-out here and get a punt and maybe get decent field position on the other end. But your defense has got to make a stop.
3 receivers come near side. 2:09 on the clock. In the gun, Cisneros is just going to run to the near side, cuts it up the left hash, falls forward. Not enough for a first down, but about 3 yards shy at the 17.
Ahead to the 17.
So are you okay?
Justin, are you okay?
I'm good. I'm sorry. I'm still fighting off a cough from last week. I'm sorry.
You've been sick for quite a while now. I don't know whether I should be up here with you. 1:27. Here's a toss. Right side, Lopez. He's shot out of a cannon. Has the first down. Spinning out of a tackle. He's got past the 30 to the 33-yard line, and a new set of downs for Palmer as Lopez is very fast.
Yeah, they got playmakers all over the field. I thought that was Cisneros for a second there, but Lopez showing the speed and finding a sliver of light to get through.
So, Caroline, are you feeling okay? You were a little under the weather last week.
Yeah, I'm good. I will say, though, that I've had my voice. My voice is, this is the most normal it's been today.
Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah. Carl's gone.
Carl, under a minute. Handoff, right side. Burrow flipped end over in. A nice tackle by Antoine Rattler. And that'll be a short gain for about 2 yards to the 34. So, Justin, or doctor visit and all that, we're not going to go there, are we?
We can. Ended up having COVID last week. I didn't expect it, but I was on the tail end of it, so I'm pretty much good. I just have the cough that's continued to linger here.
You were sick last week, and if anybody was going to get it, we would have got it last week, I'm assuming. 2nd down and 8. Clock rolling at the end of the third quarter. Handoff up the middle in a big hole. And a first down run near midfield up to the 47-yard line. And again, that's Cutter Burrow. Could be the district MVP, they say, as he's studly on offense and studly on defense. That's the end of the third quarter. 29-6. Palmer in the lead. We'll be right back.
Buying and or selling your next home or property should be an enjoyable experience. At Texoma Land and Home Team, our commitment to the personal relationship of each transaction ensures communication you expect, while assuring that we'll be here the next time you need us. We're not a big box real estate company by design. This freedom allows us to be fully at your service. Texoma Land and Home Team, Renee Nichols Broker, 903-818-1645. Texoma Land and Home Team, for all your real estate needs, 903-818-1645.
Independent Financial is proud to support Howe ISD and their hardworking students, teachers, and staff. We share your vision for a brighter tomorrow and a championship season. For every challenge, Independent Financial has you covered. Our team can suggest a wide range of financial products to make your personal banking fast and easy. Plus, we have the know-how to deliver the game-changing business banking solutions. Independent Financial, your community in your corner. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Well, Palmer trying to close this one out as we enter the fourth quarter. They lead 29-6 here in Lone Oak. And they have it 1st and 10, now moving left to right. Cisneros handoff up the middle, and that is Lopez. Another first down run, escaping tackles, breaking more tackles on his way, 15-10. Finally run out of bounds by Rattler at the 5-yard line. Also there was Matt Hayes. Rattler has to go back and pick up his mouthpiece that fell out. But he's doing double duty in this football game, offense and defense. And now Palmer has it 1st and goal at the 6-yard line. 41 yards on the run. $11:50 left to go in the game, 29-6. Cisneros handoff. Burrow spinning at the 2, and a flag is down as there's some extracurricular going out on the far sideline, and I think that is Rattler got tangled up with Ledbetter, I believe, and I'm not sure exactly what happened. I don't know who it's going to be on, but Rattler's helmet is off.
And rarely do you see Rattler, get involved in any kind of pushing and shoving or anything, and so he was standing over a player, over the Palmer player when they called the flag. Is it offsetting?
Yeah, they called it offsetting. I was watching the play, so I can't tell you what happened there.
You're getting to the point in the game where they're
frustrations are starting.
Frustrations will set in, and a lot of your team captain type people are injured. 11:37 left to go. Cisneros right side trying to find his way in, breaks a tackle. He's into the end zone. Touchdown Palmer. They extend their lead. 35-6, awaiting the PAT with 11:32 left to go in the game.
Brought in their heavy package and then went behind the right side of the line where they had H-back and tight ends and able to get right behind those guys for the touchdown.
It was Lopez that scored there.
Really?
Yeah, he lined up at quarter in the Wildcat.
Okay.
Or Wild Dog for them, I guess.
Yeah.
And the PAT is good, 36-6. We'll be right back. Who's your local plumber? Brother Plumber. It's good to know someone local and someone you can trust when your home or office drops the ball.
Main line break, 15 yards.
Brother Plumber is plumb professional and serves not only Howe, but also all of Grayson County. And you can save yourself 10% if you mention Go Bulldogs. Visit us online at brotherplumber.com. We'd love to help. Brother Plumber is one call away at 469-968-4487. Visit us online at brotherplumber.com. Remember, Go Bulldogs.
Hi, this is Matt Linder with Linda Hamill Insurance. Your home field is where everything happens. And I'm not talking about Bulldog Stadium. We're talking about your home, your car, and your life. For over 30 years, we've been offering bundled discounts on home, auto, and life. We offer Germania and Progressive Insurance Protection, as well as many others to suit your needs. Call us today at 903-965-4098 or come by and see us at 106 North Broadway in Bells, Texas. That's 903-965-4098.
11:32 left to go in the game. Palmer on top 36-6. It's been one of those kind of games in the playoffs where you start losing players and a lot of really strange calls early in the game that really took Howe off their game. And not to take anything away from Palmer, they're a really good football team. Here's the Tech Wave kickoff, going to be taken by Matt Hayes. He's slung down at the 29-yard line. And Howe will take over there, going right to left. We'll see who comes out at quarterback. Howe has obviously been without Austin Haley, their all-time leading passer, for the past 2 weeks. And then Garen Langford was injured a couple of series ago in the third quarter, and he has yet to return. We've seen Cooper Jones at quarterback, and Jones is coming back out here for this series. So again, Langford not coming out. Everybody tight on the line of scrimmage. Receivers bunched together. And Antoine Rattler gets the carry from left to right. He's slung down. A great tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Howe wants a flag on a face mask. Not going to get it. Back to the 25-yard line.
I think they did get it from the
official
on the other side. Is that a horse collar?
I had it as a horse collar, yeah.
Well, if it is that, that's a 15-yarder, and that'll give Howe great field position.
Yeah, looks like they're gonna give it to him.
11:20 left to go in the game. You know, you get to this part, after you've done this for 28 years, you always get to the final game and you know when to start talking about the seniors.
Yeah.
And we're getting pretty close.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a reverse coming near side to BU, who runs behind his shoulder pads, lowers his helmet into the defender's chest. And he's got 5 yards just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. It was a Jones toss to Rattler, who tossed it back to BU. Omer coming to the other way. 10:54 on the clock. It stops momentarily as they figure out where they're going to spot this thing. Now they spot it at the 48, and between the 48 and the 49. But there's not a lot of seniors on this team. Usually, you could take, generally each year there's 15, 16 seniors to talk about. Only 8 on this roster. And this is Rattler, shot out of a cannon on the right side, spinning out of a tackle, 40, look out, 35. Electrifying the crowd on the far sideline to the 30-yard line. A big run by Rattler of 21 yards.
Man, Antoine Rattler, he gets that. He's the way he runs is almost like he's high-stepping when he runs. His legs get up so high, and he's always moving the legs, and he doesn't go down in first contact. Even though he's down 29-6 or 36-6, it doesn't matter. He still run hard.
Handoff Rattler, cuts it towards the middle from the right hash, maybe a yard to the 29. Why can't Antoine Rattler be a sophomore?
Yeah.
If you could you could do so much with this team if you could build around that kid. My goodness. And maybe with the success that he's having, 2nd down and 9, that maybe, some other people from Sherman that are discouraged with losing for the Bearcats maybe they look at Howe and say, hey, maybe I can go to Howe instead of Gunner for a change.
Yeah.
Here is Jones firing across the middle. It's caught at the 15, at the 10, at the 5, into the end zone. It's touchdown time in Texas. Tristan Williams, 29 yards from Cooper Jones. And that narrows the gap 36-12. A 2-point conversion is coming up.
Well, they're not going to run the clock out and just ground and pound the rest of the way. Jones hits Tristan Williams on a slant across the middle, and there must be a breakdown in coverage because he was pretty much almost wide open.
Jones wants it on the 2-point conversion, rolls right, wants to throw. Now he's going to step it up, trying to find the end zone, can't do it, knocked down at the 1-yard line.
The ball came out, and Howe saying that they recovered in the end zone.
That did not happen.
That did not happen.
So it's 36-12 with 9:26 left to go in the game. We'll be right back.
This is Michelle Castle with Guild Mortgage, welcoming you to Howe Bulldogs football. Guild has been delivering on the promise of home to hundreds of thousands of people just like you for over 60 years. With a big heart and a desire to serve, we're committed to making life better in our communities. This is where we live, and we're committed to building it with you.
Guild Mortgage Company, Equal Housing Opportunity Company, NMLS number 3274. Michelle Castle, NMLS number 231122. Branch address 714 North Travis Street, Sherman, Texas 75090. All loans subject to underwriter approval. Terms and conditions apply. Subject to change without notice. At Grayson Cullen Electric Cooperative, GCEC, we have been around for over 80 years and are governed by 7 principles: open and voluntary membership, democratic member control, members' economic participation, autonomy and independence, education, training, and information, cooperation among cooperatives, and concern for community. One of our communities is Howe, Texas, and GCEC is proud to support the Howe Bulldogs. 9:26 left to go in the game. Cooper Jones just hit Tristan Williams for 29 yards on a strike across the middle on the right hash. And that capped off a hit exterior scoring drive recap of 5 plays, 71 yards for Howe. Narrowed the gap. 36-12 is where we're at. 9:26 left to go in the game. And another onside kick's coming. This time Johnny Rodriguez on the Tech Wave kickoff is going to go from right to left at an angle coming near side, boots it, bounces, didn't go 10 yards, but it was recovered by Palmer nonetheless. And they will have obviously good field position at the Howe 48-yard line. Those spinner things ought to be outlawed.
I'm telling you, that's...
Oh my goodness, I agree. Right in my ear.
I even had a listener text me and say, hey, what are you going to do about that? I'm like, well, it's our crowd mic. If we could just eliminate the spinner thing, we'd be all right. But that would, if we turned off the crowd mic, you get, nothing.
Yeah, just blank sound.
And then it's like you're in a closet. You don't want to do that. Left to right, handoff up the middle, and here's a new running back. And the ball is loose as Carson Daniels stripped it away from the ball carrier, Landon Munoz. But Palmer was able to fall back on it, and it'll be about a 7-yard gain to the 41-yard line as Daniels just stripped it away, just grabbed the ball and ripped it out.
That's about the only way Howe's been able to really make a stop is getting turnovers because they haven't been able to force many punts. They forced 1 punt, I believe, today.
2nd and 3, handoff, and boy, hit hard. Bo Stevens makes a big play behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of a yard back to the 42.
Read option there, and Bo read that all the way.
3rd down and 3 coming up.
A little Bo nose there.
Yeah.
Bo nose. Tackle for loss. He's had a lot of those this year.
Was it 17? What is it, 17 they said?
That's what they had. 3rd down and 4, left to right. Under 8:30 left to go in the game. Daniel shows blitz. Now he's coming. And a quick pass out to the right side, incomplete as Cisneros was not able to hit his receiver, Leach. And now it's 4th down and 4 from the 42-yard line of Howe.
That stops the clock. I wonder if they'll try to, I would assume they'd probably go for this.
Palmer has completely let off the gas.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's no question. 4th and 4. Cisneros in the gun. From the Howe 42-yard line. Howe showing blitz. Pass across the middle. That's going to be caught. Martinez makes the catch, and he's inside the 20. And that's a big first down for the Palmer Bulldogs to the 17-yard line.
You talk about threading the needle. I mean, through that.
All right, guys, I got Trey Talks Playoff Edition. Trey, we're not saying it's over. We're not saying it's over, but you, freshman, what has been your favorite memory of this season?
Making playoffs and just being part of the team.
Y'all, I promise he's more than he sounds. He's much more excited.
Ask him about his 5 girlfriends. Is he down to 5?
How many girlfriends do you have? 5 still, or what? No, not gonna answer that one.
Uh-oh.
I don't know.
Oh. Okay. Well, Trey, I have enjoyed Trey Talks this year.
There's a handoff to Munoz, and they need to start blowing the whistle there because the pile was moving for about 9 yards. It's going to be close to a first. Somebody's going to end up getting hurt there if they continue to let that go. The ball's at the 10, so a 7-yard game.
How can't afford any more injuries?
7:04 apparently left in the season. 36-12 as Palmer's knocking on the door to adding some more. Leach comes near side. Split out wide near the numbers. Ball in the middle of the field. Cisneros handoff up the middle. Munoz, I believe, will gain a yard. And Justin again. There's another gimpy. Bo Stevens got up just a little bit gimpy there for a moment, but apparently he's okay. This broadcast brought to you by NyQuil, apparently.
Yes.
Stop it.
I'll need it, too. I'll need it.
Can I bill him for that?
We'll probably get demonetized or something on YouTube.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah, probably so. Here's a handoff. No, Cisneros kept it. A great ball fake, throwing in the end zone. That one is going to be knocked away. A great defensive play, as it was Martinez who entered the Murphy zone over there at the bottom of the S in the near end zone. And Murphy knocked it away. It falls incomplete. 4th down coming up again.
Ethan Mayo gets some pressure in the backfield as well. Makes Cisneros get rid of that ball a little quicker than he would like.
Mayo's played well in the absence of Bryce Crosby, but what would Crosby bring to the table here in a game like this? What would Austin Haley bring to the table in a game like this?
Yeah.
Boy, you just will never, ever, ever, ever know.
To have your best offensive and best defensive player, this game could have been a whole lot different.
The officials are talking to the head coach as a timeout been called by Palmer. We're going to keep it here. That is a good point. I mean, you want to go into the biggest game of the year with all your bullets. And in the revolver, Howe had 2 major bullets missing. And that really came back to bite them on, in the butt on that one. And then they lost a big, bullet in that revolver and right before the half.
Yeah, so you lost 3 major bullets. One of them you really needed at quarterback with Langford. But defensively, I mean, Bo Stevens has played well this season. Had a pretty good game tonight. Carson Daniels had a good game tonight.
I think you got to look at the future of this thing and say, at least next year it's going to be pretty good, you would imagine. They're going to be very competitive. The Palmer Bulldogs about to attempt a 27-yard field goal. Luke Leach to hold, and Adam Leach to kick. From the middle of the field, it is up and it is good. And Palmer adds a field goal to make it 39-12 with 6 minutes left to go in the game. We'll be back right after this timeout.
If you're a small business owner in Howe, Texas, think about everything you need to help your business succeed. You need a plan, happy customers, and an insurance agent that gets you. My name is Corey Hernandez, and I run a State Farm agency. Because I'm a small business owner myself, I understand the unique needs of local business owners. My office and I will make it easy to choose the right protection for you at the right price. Call State Farm agent Corey Hernandez at 903-893-8400 or visit InsuranceQuoteTexoma.com for your small business needs today.
I'm attorney Micah Belden, an old-school black and white Howe Bulldog. In criminal defense, you need someone who fights like a bulldog. Call me now if you've been investigated, arrested, or charged with a crime in North Texas. My number is 903-744-4252. We'll set up a free consultation. You will find out that I'm rough, tough, and I can't get enough. I'm board certified in criminal law by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization, Principal Office, Sherman, Texas. Visit my website at ShermanCriminalLawyer.com.
Howe will get the football back here in just a moment. It's 39-12 after a 27-yard field goal by Adam Leach. Right down the middle of the field, in the middle of the uprights. Your hit exterior scoring drive recap, 8 plays, 21 yards for Palmer. And here's a squib kick for your Tech Wave kickoff. And Tristan Williams fields it at the 33-yard line. And Howe will take over there, moving right to left. 5:58 on the clock. Left to go in the game. You know, Caroline, you might talk to head coach Lance Bryan, but I doubt any of the players will want to visit.
Yeah, after every last game and seeing the seniors, I'm like, I can't do this again. I can't do this again.
Well, there's a lot of tears.
And, and I think this one may be my hardest one.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. Next year will be my hardest one. Jones in the gun. He drops back 3 steps, fires right side, caught. And I think that's Ulmer. He's going to get back to the line of scrimmage. He caught it about 2 or 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And it'll be 2nd down and 10 as Jones just threw a screen pass.
Well, I mean,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. You think about this season and just what they've accomplished. I mean, you came in 22-game losing streak, and you get the monkey off the back the first game of the season. This call for this play.
2nd down and 10. Jones wants to throw again. Hammers it deep right side, looking way down the field, and that's going to be incomplete. Tristan Williams was the intended receiver, but that ball was overshot by about 10 yards as Jones was showing off the arm. You're right. This season opened with so much electricity right off the bat. Brand new coach, go on the road, play a really good Honey Grove team with a new head coach in Shane Fletcher. And Howe gets the win that night, eliminates the 22-game losing streak, and you could tell that a new day had dawned.
Yeah, it was like the pressure was kind of off. It was kind of like, okay, now we've got the win. Now we can kind of go back and just play football. And then they were able to get the win the next week. Lost to Commerce, a game they should have won.
Jones, handoff Rattler, right side, and he's going to be hit hard from behind, which pushes him forward for about 2 or 3 yards, but they'll spot it at the 37-yard line. I think Justin's getting worse as the game goes by.
I'm telling you, I'm trying to limp through this last 4:59.
Got a casualties on the field, casualty in the booth.
Man.
You know, we also got to talk about, for the last Howe Bulldogs broadcast, the blizzard.
Yeah.
So this is the final 4:42 for him. 4th down for Howe. Dropping back is Jones, throwing a deep ball down the field, diving for it and coming up incomplete, intended for Rattler at the 25-yard line. And that's going to do it for Howe's offense. And Palmer will take over with 4:34.
Yeah, this will be Blizzard's last game, and
not about the last game. It was a great last season, y'all.
Yeah.
You know, you, both of you have suffered through some horrendous seasons.
We have.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got one.
This was a good one to end on for me, but the last 2, anything was better than that.
So tell us why you're leaving.
I will be graduating in the fall and starting my coaching career.
That's awesome. Is there a particular subject, teaching subject?
I'll start with PE.
Okay.
That's what my degree is in.
Okay, low snap, dug out, Munoz handoff, and wrestled down quickly, maybe a yard. Some extracurricular there. A helmet flies off of one of the Palmer Bulldogs. No flag on the play. Gain of a yard up to the 37.
Any particular sport you're looking at coaching in?
Definitely football and probably baseball as well.
Is there a secondary teaching field?
History.
Okay, so boy, that is all coach right there, isn't it? PE and history.
Mr. Blizzard.
Mr. Blizzard, that's awesome.
Mr. Blizzard. Second down in mind. Mr. Blizzard. 3:51, starting to take their time a little bit here. Handoff, near side. Trying to break a tackle is Leach. Luke Leach is going to gain 4 or 5, maybe 6 up to the 32-yard line. Let's talk about some of these seniors, Justin, as we close this thing out. We go down the line, and you know, we were so excited a few years ago. It seems like yesterday in some sense, and it seems like 9 years ago in some others. Carson Daniels and Austin Haley were freshmen. They popped onto the scene, and we knew that the future was going to be bright. And boy, they were so talented as they came up as 14-year-olds, and they just didn't have much around them. The big schedule was so hard, and you feel for those two. Here's a handoff. That's actually a quarterback keeper up the middle. A couple of yards there, but Cisneros still into the game at quarterback. 2:50 on the clock rolling. But you know, Howe had a tough situation being in big school, missed it by 5 2 times in a row, 5 or 6 kids, just right behind the 8 ball. And, you feel for Austin Haley and Carson Daniels. I mean, both of them had great high school football careers, but didn't get the wins they wanted to.
Yeah, you know, when they first started freshmen, it was kind of like, okay, this is kind of the future almost. This is like Dak and Zeke, or Troy and Emmett, Carson and Austin in the backfield lead this team. And yeah, the schedule didn't help them. The districts they were in didn't help them, but at least I'm glad they were able to get a trip to the playoffs, even though Austin's obviously not playing, but their final season to get a winning record and a winning season and at least get a taste of the playoffs.
Palmer takes a knee for a turnover on downs, and Howe will come out on offense one more time with 2:12 left to go in the game. And, and then the next year, right after Austin and Carson, is Ryan Huff and Bryce Crosby. They show up on the scene, and, Ryan Huff has had a really good career, almost 1,000 yards receiving. It's a handoff to Rattler, right around the right edge, and he's not finished. Trying to find the outside corner, does look out. He's got the 40 down the sidelines, 35, knocked out of bounds at the 29-yard line. Man. Rattler says, I am not done. I do not care what time is on the clock. I've got 2:03 left to go in my career, and I'm going to take it all, baby.
Man, he just got behind one of his linemen, then bounced, stayed on his hip pocket, and then bounced outside, used some of that speed, lowered his shoulder at the end of the run. And don't tell him this is his last game. He's going to play. He's going to squeeze every second out of it.
Jones, handoff Rattler, who wants to throw. Rattler deep down the field. It's going to be caught at the 10-yard line.
And dropped.
And it falls incomplete. Was that Ulmer? It looks as if it may be Ulmer.
It was Huff.
Yeah.
Huff, okay.
And Antoine Rattler, another senior who came on last year. I believe the Sanger game, is when we saw him the first time, I think. And I remember we kind of talked about his name, Antoine Rattler. That's like a name you would create on Madden or something.
It certainly is. If you were going to create,
a cool name.
He would have a 95 ranking with his name, Antoine Rattler. And, boy, he does have a 95 ranking this year. There's a handoff to Rattler for 4 yards. So, yeah, you had Bryce Crosby come on the scene his sophomore year, and he played an impact linebacker position, got some carries a year ago. some of these players, you just wish, nothing against anybody who was here prior, but you almost wish Lance Bryan had been here for 2 or 3 years to, steady this thing. And here's a pass out to Huff, right side. How close is he getting to the 1,000-yard mark? He needed 68. He had the big catch earlier in the game, Blizzard. There's a gain of somewhere around 12.
He's at 36 on the game.
How many did he need?
He needed 68.
Yeah, he had one for 24 and then that one for 12 there.
1st and 10, right to left. House knocking on the door here about the 16-yard line. Jones is going to just run it right behind his blockers around the right side. Howe has run over to their sideline almost all night, it seems. Hardly ever have they run to the Palmer side. In either quarter, either half, they've always ran to the right side. It just appears that way. Aiden Burris is another senior who's been there for the past couple of years, had an injury last year, missed some time, the knee injury. Jones wants to fire it left side into the end zone, incomplete. A jump ball for Colin Murphy sailed over his head. 48 seconds left to go in the game.
Matt Hayes.
Matt Hayes he came on early as a sophomore. Was kind of the featured back on opening night at Callisburg in 2020, and with Jalen out, and then didn't play a year ago. And boy, he has been really good this year. Free play, it appears. Jones throwing it in the end zone, but he throws it out of the end zone too far. It's incomplete, but Howe got a free play there. 43 seconds left to go.
And then Brody McCollum, the other senior.
Brody came on this year strong. He'd always up and down from the JV and been a starter all season long at right guard. So consistent all year this year. His father was on a playoff team, an offensive lineman here in Howe back in 1998, so there's thick bloodlines with Howe Bulldogs there. His grandmother's brother is one of the all-time greatest coaches in TAPS history, and Mike Wheeler. 3rd down and 1 from inside the 10. Swing pass out, Jones to Huff, and Huff dropped it. That's unusual. He might have been looking for the end zone right there.
Run before he caught it.
39 seconds, 4th down. You think you might wild dog this one and
get a first down out of it?
Maybe. Howe's got 2 timeouts left, or 3 timeouts left.
I mean, then you think about next year, who's coming back next year? You got Cooper Jones coming back.
Jones is going to try to pick up the first down, and he does. And they'll probably try to hurry it up here. Either that or call a timeout. They're going to call a timeout. Let's give us some time to talk about that. So, yeah, I mean, you're in a good situation coming back. Your offensive line almost comes back intact. Yes, you lose your guards, Aiden Burris and Brody McCollum. But you've got your center, Malin Walker, your left tackle, Roman Garbrandt, and your right tackle, Michael Riddle. And let's not forget, 2 juniors that didn't even get on the field this year due to injuries, offensive lineman Seth Goolsby and Luciano Vasquez. You thought both of them were going to be starters at the beginning of the year. Neither one of them were able to play it down. So you could have a situation where you have a lot of experience and senior talent on that offensive line. You're going to get Garen Langford back. You're going to get Tristan Williams back. You're going to get Cooper Jones back. You're going to get Colin Murphy back. Braden Ulmer back. So you get a lot of your offense coming back. Will it be the same type of offense? We don't know. But here's a handoff to Rattler coming near side, trying to find this near corner. He's got the 5. He's got the end zone. It's touchdown time in Texas. With 26 seconds left to go in his career, Antoine Rattler punches it in and makes it 39-18 in the bi-district round of the playoffs.
Rattler uses speed to get on the outside, and he's trying to mess up some point spreads here for any of our bettors out there to bring it into 27 points, 39-18.
Howe will go for 2. No, they'll go for 1. as Johnny Garcia will be on to kick this one. Huff to hold, Michael Riddle to snap from the middle of the field for the PAT with 26 seconds left to go in the game. Snaps back, it's on the tee. Garcia's kick is low, but right down the middle and good. 36-19, our new score. So it's a 20-point game as Rattler punches it in there.
And I got to say, too, guys, I enjoy the broadcast. Work with you guys. I think, I know Monty's talked about it before, I think we're one of the best in 3A. Heck, I'll put us up against 4A broadcasts.
Hey, there's some 5A. There's some 5 and 6A places I've heard. I'd be okay.
Yeah.
Hey, we did a 5A Division II state championship game last year. So obviously somebody likes what we do. We're very proud of it, the product that we deliver. This is my 300th broadcast. It started in 1994.
Wow.
Somehow stuck around this long, and it's been so much fun. It's been so much fun. I've seen a lot of good players. I got to call, Matthew Stafford when he was at Highland Park. I got to call RG3 when he was at Copper's Cove. I mean, there's been some good football players. Denison's, my gosh, back in those days, Corey Robertson and DJ Jones. We had some really good football players in Denison during those years.
Did you ever call Stanley?
I did, but I was doing McKinney, so I was on the opposite side of that. Here's an onside kick by Howe. And it's going to go into the arms of Palmer, but there's a flag on the play.
Howe actually recovered it. It just didn't go 10 yards yet.
It looked like Jones may have recovered it.
Yeah, Cooper caught the ball right at like the 9-yard mark.
So we listed all the offensive players that are coming back, and that's a lot. There's a lot. Defensively, there's also a lot. Up front, Tank Turner, Michael Riddle, Malin Walker, Ethan Mayo. All those cats are coming back. Linebackers Cooper Jones, Bo Stevens, Braden Ulmer, those are coming back. Cornerbacks Garen Langford and Tristan Williams, Colin Murphy, the safety, they're coming back. This will be a veteran team next year for one of the first times in a long time. This team has always been very young, but they're going to be veterans next year. And let's not forget about Jonathan Garcia, the kicker. He'll be a junior next year. 25 seconds on the clock, and Palmer again takes a knee. First class from Palmer. Howe trying to score and make it respectable, but, Palmer took a knee a moment ago, and they take a knee here. And the biggest thing, also, your head coach, Lance Bryan, is coming back. As Aiden Burris falls to the turf, boy, that's a hard moment. It's over.
Yeah.
It hits you really hard when it's over. And Aiden Burris having a really hard time right now. He gets a hug from Carson Daniels. No, that's not. That's Brody McCollum. And now they'll get in line to shake hands. It's an emotional time. Howe's led by Ryan Huff to shake hands with Palmer. Not too far behind him is Austin Haley in just his uniform, no shoulder pads tonight. Antoine Rattler right behind Huff. What a tough moment. And Huff stops to shake hands with all the highlighters for Palmer that are going to go by. And boy, it's one of those nights that you just hate it for the seniors. You hate this, and boy, I got a lot of respect for Ryan Huff right there, staying until every one of the highlighters for Palmer went by and gave him high five or low five there. Now, the Howe Bulldogs, Lance Bryan will talk to his team. Carson Daniels squats down in a catcher-style position with his head slumped down at the 35-yard line. Obviously, there's a lot of tears in this situation. It's a special kind of sadness. There's some arms around some of the teammates there. They are holding their helmets high for the Howe band as they start to play the fight song. But you know, I'm glad that Coach Bryan called up the JV also, because it gives the JV a chance to see what it's really like in a locker room in the playoff situation and the bus ride and the bonfire and all of that, because that's how you build it.
Yeah.
And next year, Howe's going to still be in Division II. And we just got through mentioning how they're going to be a senior, junior, really strong veteran football team with a lot of experience. And then they go probably back to 3A Division I. And that's when things get tough again.
Yeah, this is going to be your last year probably in Division II, and it comes at a good time when you are bringing back quite a bit of people and quite a bit of players, and you got the favorable schedule coming up. And so this is going to be a tough one here for tonight, but you have a lot to look forward to in the future. We're going to take a break real quick. We'll come back with our Texoma Land and home team post-game show here in just a few minutes. Bulldogs lose tonight 39-19 to Palmer. We'll take a break. We'll come back here in just a second.
Since 2011, Scoggins Funeral Home and Crematory has walked with hundreds of families through the most overwhelming time of their lives. Their job is simple: to make this season a little easier. What you can expect is a no-pressure, people-first philosophy, custom services for memorials that you'll remember forever, and reasonable pricing. Tommy and Bobby K. Scoggins have built a reputation over the past 30 years in the funeral business for making every family feel at home. Visit ScogginsFuneralHome.com or call 903-482-5225. Baker Air Conditioning and Heating has been in business in Howe for over 50 years. They even predate the volleyball program and the marching band. Norman Dickey was the new coach when they opened up. Baker Air Conditioning and Heating has been able to serve the good people of Howe and surrounding areas because, well, they're good people. If you've been told you need expensive repairs, get a second opinion with Baker Air Conditioning and Heating. Call 903-532-6255 or see them at 215 Denny Street. Baker Air Conditioning and Heating.
Buying and or selling your next home or property should be an enjoyable experience. At Texoma Land and Home Team, our commitment to the personal relationship of each transaction ensures communication you expect, while assuring that we'll be here the next time you need us. We're not a big box real estate company by design. This freedom allows us to be fully at your service. Texoma Land and Home Team, Renee Nichols Broker, 903-818-1645. Texoma Land and Home Team, for all your real estate needs, 903-818-1645.
Baker Air Conditioning and Heating has been in business in Howe for over 50 years. They even predate the volleyball program and the marching band. Norman Dickey was the new coach when they opened up. Baker Air Conditioning and Heating has been able to serve the good people of Howe and surrounding areas because, well, they're good people. If you've been told you need expensive repairs, get a second opinion with Baker Air Conditioning and Heating. Call 903-532-6255 or see them at 215 Denny Street. Baker Air Conditioning and Heating.
You're listening to the Texas Land and Home Realty Team post-game show. Now let's go back to the stadium with Caroline Slauson, Justin White, Jake Roberts, and Blake Burnett.
All right, welcome back to the. Am I on? Okay, there we go. Welcome back to the Texoma.
Man, I don't know what's been going on with that.
Texoma Land and Home Team post-game show here at Buffalo Stadium in Lone Oak, Texas. Howe loses tonight 39-19. They end their season 6-5 here in the bi-district round. I'm Justin White alongside Jake Roberts, Blake Burnett, and Caroline Slauson's on the field.
I really like what's going on the field right now. I'm sure this was a Coach Bryan thing. He had all the seniors line up and all the underclassmen come give him a hug and talk to him. It's a great thing to watch from up in the press box here.
That is pretty cool.
All the players are, when it hits you, it hits you. I know, like I was telling Justin and Jake up here in the booth, on my last game, it didn't hit me till the bus ride home, and I let it out on the bus. I'm not going to lie to y'all.
Yeah, it's an emotional thing for sure. And in your high school career, whether it be basketball, football, whatever,
Like Monty was saying last week, you will never play an organized game of football again. It's not like you can go play pickup basketball, soccer, tennis, whatever it may be, but you will never play an organized football game with pads on for about 98% of the high school players out there.
Palmer, their team celebrates as they get a gold ball winning the by-district round, and they will play the winner of Millsap and Callisburg next week.
And you said that game is tomorrow night, Justin?
I believe so, yes. Scores from around the area as far as just kind of ones that we've been concerned about. Bells won tonight 42-13 over Blooming Grove. Scurry Rosser 45-14 over Blue Ridge.
Another thing I want to say, that Bells game was over when it was halftime here, so
yeah.
The slot T was hitting on all cylinders tonight for Bells.
No kidding. So, as far as the game tonight here, Blake, it kind of started out pretty shaky for Howe starting out. They threw an interception on the first possession. Palmer takes it down, scores. Howe gets it on the second possession. I believe it was a 3 down at that point.
And then the punt was kind of blocked.
Yeah, punt was partially blocked. And then Howe got an interception there at that point. But it just felt like, especially at halftime, they were down 22-0, but it felt bigger than the deficit showed.
Well, it felt bigger because the offense had a bad night, and up to that point, it was really bad. And so the 3 scores, like 22 points, is not that big of a deal. I mean, it is, but it's not at the same time, especially with an explosive offense. But it was big because the way the game had been going, the atmosphere and everything, Howe hadn't got a single break that whole first half, and that's why the 22 points felt like 35 points.
Well, do you think any of that was nerves maybe at the beginning of the game? Because there were a lot of false starts that we haven't seen throughout the season.
Yeah, I think we had more false starts tonight than we had all season. A lot of it is an experience issue. Like, these Howe kids haven't seen a playoff game since they were in 6th grade.
And the whole thing felt like, and this is no disrespect for the players, it just felt like the whole thing is just being held together with tape and baling wire and chewing gum. I mean, you're barely holding this thing together. I mean, you got Bryce Crosby out, you got Austin Haley out, and you hung in there for a little while, and then Garrett Langford went down.
Sometimes when you get to that last game, and I witnessed this firsthand in 2010 when I was a freshman, and that to me was the best Howe team in my eyes. They went 9-1 in the regular season. And that was when 3 teams made it to the playoffs, so the district champs got a bye.
Yeah.
So Howe had a bye in that first round, and then they played New Boston in the second round, and Towner Bailey was the running back for Howe at the time, and he broke his leg midway through the second quarter, and Howe was it was 14-7. Howe was down when he broke his leg, and then the stadium just went quiet. And after that, Howe could not do a single thing the rest of the night. And it was just like everything that was holding the team together, just when it snapped, it snapped.
Caroline Slauson's on the field. Caroline, just pop on whenever you get a interview with anybody.
Yeah, I will. We're
or if you will get any.
There's not a dry eye, but I'm trying to get a hold of Coach Brian, and once I get him, we'll pop on right quick.
Okay. Blake, do you want to do stats real quick while we're
Yeah, we can jump in stats.
And then Caroline can just hop in if needed.
Is it 39-19, Jake?
Yes, that was the final.
So we had Palmer winning tonight 39-19 over the Howe Bulldogs. Palmer's 5 touchdowns were all scored by one person tonight. Didn't have that on the bingo card. But Cutter Burrow, their leading back during the season, had 12 carries for 83 yards tonight. Berlin Lopez had 13 carries for 166 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. He also caught 4 passes for 53 yards and 3 more touchdowns. Eric Cisneros.
That's been a tough one for you, Nightheaded.
Yeah, it has.
Struggled with that one.
10 carries for 61 yards. Luke Leach, 2 carries for 6 yards. And Landon Munoz, 3 carries for 16 yards. Luke Leach did have a 27-yard field goal, we don't give kickers enough credit in the high school game. Coaches always want to go for it, not let their kickers give a chance. It's nice to see the Palmer coach give Leach a chance at the field goal late in the game. Eric Cisneros, 5 of 10 passing, 78 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also did throw an interception. And Brandon Martinez had 1 catch for 25 yards. On defense for Palmer, Cutter Barrow had 5 tackles and a sack. Ivan Chavez had 3 tackles and a sack. Landon Ledbetter had 2. Ethan Pummel had 4. He also recovered a fumble. Cannon had 3 tackles. Julian Ramirez had 3. Jet Maxwell 1. Humberto Garcia had 2. And Isaiah Valles had 2 as well. We'll jump into the the house stats. They're both Bulldogs. Can't say that tonight. Offense, Antoine Radler still had a good game tonight for the Bulldogs. He was electric as always in his final game in a Bulldog jersey. 22 carries, 138 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Wow. Garen Langford, 6 carries for negative 16 yards. Cooper Jones, 5 carries for 11 yards. Braden Ulmer, 1 carry for 4 yards. Garen Langford was 3 of 6 passing for 26 yards and an interception. Cooper Jones, 5 of 10 passing, 91 yards and a touchdown. Braden Ulmer had 3 catches for 2 yards. Garen Langford, 1 catch for 24 yards. Tristan Williams, 2 catches for 55 yards and a touchdown. Ryan Huff, 2 catches for 36 yards. And on defense for the Bulldogs, they were led by Bo Stevens with 10 tackles and a forced fumble. Carson Daniels, 5 tackles and a forced fumble. Braden Ulmer, 6 tackles and a fumble recovery. Cooper Jones, 8 tackles. Tank Turner, 4. Michael Riddle, 3. Ethan Mayo, 2. Colin Murphy, 6 tackles, an interception, and 2 pass breakups. Matt Hayes, 4 tackles. Garen Langford, 3. Antoine Radler, 3. And Colton Little, Mr. Special Teams, had 1 tackle on the night.
Wow.
Guys, I was able to talk to Coach Brian. He did not want to talk, which is totally understandable. We chatted a little bit, and he just said that there is no good way to end the season. There's only one team happy at the end of the season, and that's true. And no matter what I was like, I remember listening to your first Coach's Corner with Monty, and you're like, how are we going to start? My first head coaching job. I just want that first win. And here we are.
Yeah.
And it was such a fun season. This has by far been the hardest. I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. It's been by far the hardest night, for the last game. And
what was it like down there? What's it like down there? I mean,
listen, there's not a dry eye out there, and there was not a dry eye out there from the minute that buzzer rang. And then to have them line up like that was just, talk about your heart in your stomach. We were all just like, holy moly. It was such a beautiful tribute. These seniors are such a huge part of this team. We've been talking about it all game, or all season, really, especially since Bryce went out and Austin went out. Even though they're not on the field, they're still a huge part of this team. And I talked about it. I really think Bryce not in was a big part of this defense, not doing as well as they did that first half of the season. And it's just going to be a huge loss just in the psyche of these players, But it has been such a fun season to be part of, such an unexpected season, and I have enjoyed every minute with you guys. Blizzard?
Yeah.
Buddy, I'm going to miss you. You truly bring such a good part to this broadcast crew, and you will be so hard to replace.
Man, no kidding.
But good luck to everything. And I'm not going to cry or anything, but
Yeah, we're like leaving it open here, leaving the floor open for you.
But guys, it's been so much fun. Such a good season.
We see how far we've come. I say we as in the crew.
We feel like we're part of the team.
I know. But
we've been through all the rough games.
Yeah,
we've been through the
from 0 and 22.
The butt kickings from Mineolas and the Mount Vernons and just those are some tough games. I know. We're not up there playing. We're not getting hit, but it's tough to talk about those games when you're down 50-0.
It wasn't like we weren't excited for Friday nights, and this year I felt like we were excited every Friday.
Yeah, every Friday night was exciting. That's something that
we were ready. We woke up energized, ready to go.
And we talked about it. I know I talked about it with Blizzard. This week's just flew by. You know, it was Friday so fast.
Yeah, the season flew by.
Yeah, and I have looked forward to Friday night every Friday this season, and it's just, you know, we say it every year, but man, this is just a good group of kids. It's a good group of boys, and I'm just
glad
not ready for it to end.
I'm glad they got to end with going to the playoffs.
Yeah,
having to go through these 2 0-10 seasons, and then finally win. Even though they got beat, but at least get a taste of what winning football is and getting to the playoffs.
Well, and you can't sit here and tell me that had they at the end of last year been like, "Hey, y'all are going to the playoffs next year," we would have been like, "No way."
Yeah.
You know, no matter what, it was just such an improvement. You know, and it's like Coach Brian said, these are the same guys. You know, it's not like
it really is
all these new players. So just good for them for believing in this culture, and it just sucks, man. It just sucks, and you know you're going to do it. There's only one team that doesn't have to do it, and you know.
And we've watched them grow. Most of these players have been a big part of this team since at least their sophomore year, the seniors, and we've watched them develop over the years, and we've just gotten close with them and calling their games every Friday night. So that's why this one is so much more painful. I mean, every last game is painful, no matter how you look at it. But we've just been a part of these players' lives for the last 4 or 3 years, and they've impacted us as much as we've impacted them.
I think, Justin, your first year on color, and me first year sideline was Austin and Carson's. They were freshmen.
I think because I started doing color in 2018.
Yeah, so like I remember their first. I remember their first varsity game. You know.
I think I was 1 year before Austin. So I had 1 year before Austin.
So it's just been, you know, that Friday's going to be weird. You know.
Yeah, Fridays without Austin, Carson, Bryce, Huff. Feels like they've been on the team for 8 years.
I know, right? Especially with, Austin and Carson, who were on there as a freshman.
You know, these other schools, they're like, thank God we ain't got to play those kids anymore because they bring it.
Yeah, that was the guy, Lone Oak guy I was talking to yesterday last week when Carson was just, plummeting right over them. They were like, who is that tank? Gonna miss that tank.
Well, and at the end of the game, they were, especially Antoine. Antoine was running with a mission at the end of this game. He was not
ready to come off that field.
No.
Yes. And so, give credit to Palmer. They ran the ball in the game. They kind of, they let this clock run out. They were downing it, and they weren't trying to run the score up or anything like that. And yet Howe continued to try to get points on the board.
Yeah, something I did want to say about Palmer, and not just them taking the knee there at the bottom, or at the end, but so many times they were helping our players up. We helped them up. That's a good team. That's a good team, and some respectful guys and coaches.
All right, got Monty back here in the booth here on the Texoma Land and Real Home Team post-game show. How is it down there?
Warmer than it is up here. It's a little chilly in the booth, huh? Sorry about that, y'all.
It feels good.
Okay, all right. So on the field, lots of tears. I'm not sure how much Caroline told y'all, but it was very emotional. Mm-hmm. So a lot of those kids I've coached when they were first grade through sixth grade.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So
you've literally seen them grow up.
Yes. I had Carson Daniels in first grade, and he was a left-handed quarterback.
The closer before the closer.
Sorry.
It's okay. You're so bad.
He was a left-handed quarterback, and I had Cooper Jones in second grade, and he was, a running back for us. And Malin Walker was our center. And, I had Maddie Hayes playing secondary back in those days.
But I just want to point out, just like that, Maddie, we call him by their BU, like that's how.
I gave him that name.
Yeah, right. Back with.
Yeah.
That's just how we are. I feel like this unit is.
Yeah, and that's going to be, this year's hard. But next year's going to be even harder on this old guy because, all of them I coached at that point, just about all of them. And it's going to be really, I'm attached to the Bulldogs regardless. As I watched one of them limping off the field, my own kid at the 30-yard line. It's hard to watch.
Limps to the 35.
Play-by-play.
And it's just, I love the Howe Bulldogs. I mean, I won't make any bones about it. I grew up wanting to be Randy Gear when I was in 3rd grade.
Oh, my gosh, I haven't heard that name in forever.
And I'm just one of those, Stephen Ogle, and I just got eat up with. Some people get eat up with the guitar at a young age, and that's all they want to do is play guitar. Well, I got eat up with the Howe Bulldogs, and I wanted to be a Howe Bulldog, and that's all I wanted to be. And so, lucky enough, I had 3 really great playoff years, and that just was an exclamation point. And then to see my kid on the field is pretty an awesome experience. But I sure hate to see him limping like that. But I got, you get close to the players such as, back in the day, the Brandon Walls and the Tyler Grishams, and you get close to those players as a broadcaster. It's a totally different level. But when you coach these kids from 1st grade up to 6th grade, you get to know them personally. You know their characteristics. You know them as a person. I mean, they change, obviously, from 7th grade to now. But I've still been around them enough to know who they are. And these are just really good kids. They're really good human beings. And, the Carson Daniels of the world, I'm going to miss those kids being in the Howe Bulldog uniform. And Matt Hayes and Austin Haley. Because, my son loves Austin Haley. I mean, just on the field a minute ago, they were going through all the hugs and everything. Everybody was hugging the seniors. And, I watched Malin, who's not an emotional guy. He's not a cry guy like I am. And he walked through and gave everybody a hug. But when he got to Austin Haley, he stopped and picked him up, And that's Malin's way of showing emotion that he really loves you. He just bear hug you. And it's a pretty unique thing to see, these kids grow up, and I just hate to see the ones that are seniors and moving on, and I really hate to see the tears. It's just really hard to watch.
I think me and Monty both went through the line as well to give hugs to the seniors, and I said to each one of them, what are we going to do without you? What are we going to do without you? What are we going to do,
Yeah. The first hug I got was Bryce Crosby.
Yes.
And I never got to coach Bryce. But he and I went through some things a year ago, in 7-on-7, and but he and I got very, very close because of that. And I tell you what, I love that young man, and gosh, I'm gonna, what he meant to this football team is really it's not. You can't really put something on it. I don't know what to put on it, but what his meaning to this football team was huge. So they're starting to turn the lights out. Is that telling them? I think that's. They're telling us to get out of here.
Yeah, that's the sign to.
Have we covered all of our bases? We good to just sign off here?
Yeah. It's been a fun year, guys.
It has been.
Blake, good luck to you, brother.
Blake, we're gonna miss you, buddy. Blizzard. Can't believe it.
It's been fun calling the Howe Bulldogs. It was a dream. It happened. They made the playoffs. Next year, let's go another round further at least.
Let's do it.
Well, you're going to need to.
Let's go.
You're going to need to call in and keep up with us. And
I definitely will.
And hey, nothing says you can't do the roundup. I mean,
I'm sure I'll be a little busy to do that.
Come on, howdy, folks.
Hey. Well, hey, for everyone who's been a part of this, and it's been awesome. I still think this is the best 3A football broadcast in all the state of Texas, and I might go up even higher than that. But for Caroline, our great Night Furniture sideline reporter, for Jake Roberts, our awesome engineer, for Blake Burnett, the Blizzard statistician, who does such an amazing job. I wish we had signed a 10-year contract with him. And Justin White, who does such an amazing job, again, with color and has for so long. Appreciate you. It's been a great team. I hope to continue that for a long time. For everyone who's been a part of this one, I'm Monty Walker. So long, everybody.
You've been listening to the Texas Land and Home Realty Team post-game show. Howe Bulldogs football is a product of Studio 42. The full replay of the game will be available within minutes on the same link on YouTube and HoweEnterprise.com. Howe Bulldogs football is brought to you by Scoggins Funeral Home, Baker Air Conditioning and Heating, Independent Financial, GC Easy, Sonic of Howe. Also brought to you by Michelle Castle Guild Mortgage, Atmos Energy, Corey Hernandez State Farm, Rapid Electric, Brother Plumber, Attorney Micah Belden. Also brought to you by Howe Athletic Booster Club, Linda Hamill Insurance, Michelle Carney Photography, Hit Exteriors LLC, TechWave, Night Furniture, Bullard Construction. Also brought to you by All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights, Texoma Land and Home Realty Team,
Don's Smokehouse, Goodfellas Barbershop.
Turn out the lights. The party's over. They say that all.